policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Hey, good Tuesday, everyone. Good news. Frank Rizzo statue. Frank Rizzo coming out of captivity. At 12:30, we'll be joined by attorney George Paquetto and Jody Della Barbara, who formerly was the mayor's executive secretary and chief keep him in line person, about what the heck has happened here in a deal with the city. Where should they put Frank Rizzo? 855-839-1210. He did live in Chestnut Hill, probably the safest area in the city later in life. Why not put it, Dan, on the spot where Rizzo confronted the Boardman guy of investigative reporting, calling him a lush crumb bum? I'm going to put my dog inside, then I'm going to fight you, and you. That spot is where I kind of like the Frank Rizzo statue to go.
You're a crumb creep lush coward.
Right there on that spot, that block would be a nice place to remember it, and a nice plaque of video footage, digital, underneath.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
All right, so it's happening. First Columbus, now Frank Rizzo.
You turn that off.
Kate Smith is somewhere in captivity, too. Mayor Ernie has said, the mayor of Wildwood now, on my show, if they would let her out of captivity, he'd put it front and center in Wildwood. That's where she belongs. They play her song. God bless America. Right there. Yeah, what kind of organization are the Flyers? They don't want Kate Smith. Just let her go. Let somebody pay for the statue. Take it off your hands. Yeah, that's right. And put it somewhere where people can think back to those glory days. All right, so I'd love to get your response. Now, what triggered this is this has been in negotiation since the summer of George Floyd, when they set fire to it. They defaced it. Helen Gim and others, if you remember. And Kenny, of course. And Paquetto has been doggedly negotiating with them, and now they have to pay various costs to get the 9-foot statue. Guys are looking at me with cameras here. What is this? Is this Alan Fun on my uncandid camera? Look at the angle. All right. What's
beautiful, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All
right. Right at the ground. It's like,
okay, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Yes.
we'll be soon live.
All right. 855-839-1210. Jump in right now. This is really good news. All right, Dan, do you happen to have that cut? Otherwise, I'll summarize.
I do.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
All right, so everybody in the world, this is driving these reporters and others nuts, is standing there now. It's become a thing, Dan. I would like to do the show from there. Wouldn't that be a great spot?
Oh, that'd be a great one, yeah.
To do the show from where people are standing with Trump during the breaks and after.
We can
now,
make it work.
This judge has dismissed the jury until after Memorial Day. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I can see through this. Why couldn't closing arguments be held today and tomorrow and then he hands it to the jury on Thursday. Is he afraid they want to get out of Dodge and they're going to say, hung jury, can't do anything, we're going to home for a Memorial Day? So it will be next week. Final arguments start on Tuesday, probably Wednesday. I guess by Thursday, maybe the jury will get it. I'm going to play you a cut, though. Here are the people standing with Trump today. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who is in the news more than any lieutenant governor in the world from Texas. Sebastian Gorka is there, and Joe Piscopo. Which character is Joe Piscopo playing today when he's talking there about Trump? Oh, God. All right, so here's a little bit of when they got into it. And this just shows you how snippy these reporters are. Dan Patrick gets into the idea that Trump is under attack by the ruling class. And, of course, the reporter then feels the need to say, well, Trump is a member of the ruling class. Now, based on wealth, fame, being a former president, I guess you could make the argument, but it depends on how you're using the ruling class. And then you're going to hear Sebastian Gorka jump into this. All because these reporters are seething. Is it the duty of the reporter to say, well, you know, Trump's a member of the ruling class? Really? Are they fact checkers now, live, or do they just report the news? Here's how it sounded outside the Trump trial.
Because they know here's their biggest danger to taking the ruling class down. No, you know why? Donald Trump is not the ruling class. Donald Trump is for every New Yorker. He's for every Texan, every state. Donald Trump has put his whole life on the line, for the American people. When he came down that escalator, he probably had no idea that he was going to be called to be the man in the gap to stand up for Americans. And he's standing up for you, even if you don't know it. I don't know who's next.
Would a member of the ruling class be facing 730 years in prison? What a pathetic question. 730 years in prison, and he's a member of the elite? That's pathetic. You're not a journalist.
So I want to say, as a former attorney general, is my previous job, and now is...
I thought Joe Piscopo might be in there. Okay. All right. So is he a member of the ruling class? Well, he's a member of the most recognizable, wealthy, and all that. But they're right in saying that would a true member of the ruling class, let's think of people truly of privilege. Let's start with Hunter Biden. There is the face of privilege when all these people talk about privilege. Would anybody else still be on the loose selling phony art, threatening people with all kinds of lawsuits if they were not Joe Biden's son? So is Trump a member of the ruling class? Reporters couldn't let that one go. Yeah, I haven't heard it quite put that way before, as much as the uniparty, you know, that both sides are upset by Trumpism because of what it does. It overthrows all the status quo. But is he a member of the ruling class? Yeah. The elite, yes. But the large part of Trump is he's gone beyond that. He's reached people in a way that no billionaire, millionaire, anybody else has been able to do, even now reaching Latino and black working class people. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. What they're doing today is both sides are meeting to discuss the jury charges, okay? And this is going to be all important to see what this judge tries to do with this. I'm still suspect of the judge setting this up so if it doesn't happen until next week, I still think there might have been hung jury pretty quickly, like tomorrow or Friday, if he allowed it. Thursday or Friday, if he allowed it this week. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. You get in. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is just push pound 1210. It seems to me the Rizzo statue is going to be placed in South Philly. I thought it was most appropriate to be in front of the Municipal Services Building. The number one thing, my experience with Rizzo over the years, rather than just tough cop, all-time quote machine, was constituent service. He lived that. Proof, if you fix the potholes, if you're on top of things like that, people remember that. It gives them hope, and they connect to that. Of course, law and order, the police, all those things. And that's why it belonged in front of the Municipal Services Building. But I guess the compromise is going to be you get the statue, where are you going to put it? And you do have to worry about the mobs who are seething today as they learn this. Now, they haven't been able to go after Columbus since we've taken care of that one. But now it appears in a month or so, the Rizzo statue will be out of captivity. It's amazing. It just underlines again the insatiable appetite that the left has to tear down traditional America, to destroy, to attack, to silence, even in death. More in death, they go after people. Yet the very same leftists yesterday, and I wanted to ask this, when is it appropriate? Because I'll tell you, and I don't care if this makes me a bad guy or not, there's certain people that you don't offer up a prayer or a prayer of condolence for. The butcher of Tehran, who died in that helicopter accident in Iran. We shouldn't be sending out condolences. This guy who is the chaplain for the U.S. Senate did this prayer. We're praying for the people of Iran in their grief. They're not grieving for this guy. Are you insane? I never go Hitler, but think of rungs below Hitler. Is it appropriate to say, well, wait a minute, Don, when someone dies, you're not allowed to say anything bad about them? I usually agree with that, but there are exceptions. I'm not going to be offering a prayer of condolence for this butcher in Tehran who was apparently the architect of October 7th. Why do we offer that up for people like this? Doesn't it diminish true condolence? I mean, I'm not saying for a person you just differ with that you take that attitude. Or in death, you go after everybody. You try to, win the argument you couldn't win in life. Well, when it's a butcher of Tehran, just let it sit. We shouldn't be offering condolence up for this guy. For what reason? Why are we offering? It's phony. It's a phoniness of religion. No one has sorrow that this guy is killed in a helicopter accident. Who would? 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all that you need to do is push pound 1210. Where would you like to see the Rizzo statue? I know that Frank Rizzo Jr. said to me on many occasions, no, don't put it in Fairmount Park out there in the middle of, trees or something. I agree with him on that. This is too big of a figure to push away. The natural inclination is South Philly. All right, let's go to Joe in Philly. And, Joe, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, good afternoon.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
I said we should put it in front of the Fraternal Order of Police. Lifetime police officer, lifetime member of the mayor, first Italian police commissioner. He's history.
Well, the only problem with that is, that's way the far northeast. It's a little bit out of the way. It would be safer there. But,
right.
His legacy is grander as far as visibility at a place where people could see it. I agree. But I don't see Rizzo primarily as a cop, Joe. I don't know if we differ on that. I see him primarily in the constituent service thing he did for literally tens of thousands of people in Philadelphia.
Well, that's you're right there, Don. But we got to find a safe place and a secure place that we're going to put in South Philly, and that's where it should go. But
That's
Get it all. Don't miss any of it.
Dump from Ruthie.
Oh, my God.
You're a creep.
The lush, though, and I can tell a lush. 50 years a cop. I know you're a lush.
You're a crumb creep, lush coward.
Take that out, unhook it. I'll throw it out in the middle of the
I
street.
know a lush when I see one. I know a lush when I see one, and you're a lush.
What's the thing? Is he looking at his nose? What, he's sniffing the alcohol? What is it? All right. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Let me give you quickly the side question. Dan, yesterday when we learned that Michael Cohen was a robber, thief, $30,000 he admitted to stealing from the Trump organization. It made a lot of news. So we've never done this as a side. Give us your all-time thief, robber, or thief, someone stealing something. Real or fictional? So I'll take off the board Bonnie and Clyde, who in the 30s were bigger than any Hollywood star until they killed them.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to take off Robin Hood, who wasn't taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Robin Hood, and some people don't like this, was going after tax collectors. The confiscatory taxes.
So are you a pro-Robin Hood or anti-Robin Hood?
I'm pro-Robin Hood.
Okay, just making sure there.
Fire those arrows. Sheriff of Nottingham. It wasn't robbing from the rich, pay to poor. It was the taxation part. That's what it was. All right, what's yours, Dan?
First, I'll take off Bernie Madoff. I think he's a good one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, big stealer. And then how about from the world of fiction, Gru? Gru from Minions and Despicable Me. He steals the Zodiac Stone when he's a little guy, and that's what leads to him becoming a supervillain, Dom.
I don't even have any idea. You could have said gibberish there, and it would be just as
Gru,
much.
come on, from Minions, you know.
I have no idea of that. No, I don't.
Despicable Me? No?
Okay, no, I don't. I know of Despicable Me. Okay.
Yeah.
855, I was waiting for the translation when you were going on there. 855-839-1210. At the end of your call, hit us with that. Where should Frank Rizzo go? I like the FOP for the reasons Joe put in there. But South Philly is the natural for this. Or Larry Krasner's office. Yeah, right there in Center City. Oh, my God. Looking at Larry every day as he comes in. That's the one regret I have, that Frank Rizzo didn't live long enough to go day to day with Larry Krasner.
Get away from me, you crumb.
And Krasner would have risen to the task. Krasner would have been on it constantly.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
855-839-1210. Should America be saying condolences in the Senate for the Iranian killer who was the architect of October 7th? No. I think we have to be careful with those that are dead, that we don't beat up on the dead, can't defend the record. But people like this, so when Putin dies, I'm supposed to offer condolences for Putin? I don't think so. 855-839-1210. It's phoniness. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all you have to do is just push pound 1210.
Living with Lyme, a condition that you may have and not even know it. John DeMasi here, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Yes, you may be living with Lyme, even if you've had some kind of treatment. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have dealt with this condition and have helped hundreds over the years live successfully with Lyme, mainly through the use of medical hydration. They've been able to reduce many of the symptoms associated with Lyme and allow their patients a better quality of life.
I want to get you through your initial challenge, working alongside with my physicians, and then get you to a place where we are looking at maintaining your immune system, maintaining your quality of life.
If you suspect you or someone you know has Lyme disease, visit innovativemedicalassociates.com on the web to schedule a free initial consultation or call 856-489-0505.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Splash into savings this Memorial Day with Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Soak in the relaxation and save big on new Hot Spring and Caldera Hot Tubs and save up to $4,000. Plus, when you buy a new Endless Pool Swim Spa, receive a free Aqua Bike and Exercise Kit, a $2,000 value. Looking to upgrade? Your hot tub could be worth up to $4,000. Hurry into Spring Dance Hot Tubs in Jameson, Exton, or in Plymouth Meeting in PA or in Marlton, New Jersey, and upgrade your backyard this summer. Visit us online at SpringDanceHotTubs.com for more details. Don't miss out on these incredible savings.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumber690.org.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Free speech lives here with Kale and Company weekday mornings. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. We got another great guest coming up today at 2 o'clock. We've been able to get one of the head of the blue or white collar unions in Philadelphia, with the mayor telling them they have to go back to work. They're here at 2 o'clock today, and it's going to be a great conversation because we're seeing more of this. Guess who jumps into the ring, though, when Sherelle Parker says they're essentially going to go back to work? I don't think it's every day. The Mr. Softy truck guy out there in Montgomery County, Dan, he jumps in, that commissioner, and he says, come to Montgomery County. You don't have to come to work every day. God, what the heck has happened to Montgomery County? Philadelphia is holding people accountable. The Montgomery County guy says, no, we're not doing that here in Montgomery County. My God. The suburbs. Below Philadelphia when it comes to accountability. All right, so we got the condolences for the killer. We have the Rizzo statue. Great news. Where would you like to see it? I'm hoping to have a big event around it. Loving that. George Paquetto. You don't want Paquetto to be on the other side. And Jody Della Barber, you don't want her to be on that side either. Former Rizzo chief secretary will be here at 12:30. Here's Bill Maher, though, on The View today, talking about Joe Biden as a cadaver. Here's how it sounded.
You lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say,
yeah,
but you know I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's. Yeah. Okay. And look. Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Well,
Oh, my
here's what I
God.
said.
Come on,
Like, when I came back after the strike in September, I said he should get out because he's just lost the faith of people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But I said he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I use. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair. I remember Obama had her over to the White House, like in 2013, to hint, you know, hey, spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the hint, and she was not in good health, and she stayed too long, and she ruined her legacy and got the Supreme Court now to be a pretty right-wing organization. Said Biden shouldn't do that. But, you know, ego, he's Dracula. He has crossed oceans of time to be here, and he's not going to give it up now.
All right, Dan. They were not going back that much there. I was kind of surprised, weren't you?
Yeah, there was no pushback. It was great.
Yeah.
What show is this? This isn't The View.
I know the newsreader, the Haynes woman, had her head down on the desk, frozen by it. But you'd hear Joy Behar, well, his brain is still good, or he's got a brain. Oh, my God. Bernie in North Philly, he's in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bernie, afternoon.
Oh, hi, Dom. No, it's Tacconi.
Oh, Tacconi. We always like the Tacconi references. All right, go ahead, Bernie.
Here.
Yes.
No, but I wanted to, I'm with you. I have no sympathy for the guy. You know, Trump was in there. He would have said, no, we're not giving him condolences. He's a murderer.
Yes. I mean, and it's a judgment call. It says something about you, Bernie. You know, I'm even thinking I was going to put together 10 of them and say, can you say condolences or not for this person? If somebody's a mass murderer in this sense, and by any reasonable, he's the architect of October 7th. These people are not in sadness, most of them. They're thanking God and hoping maybe these guys will go away. It cheapens religion to say condolences to this guy.
Oh, yeah, no, but I wanted to tell you one thing. When I heard he dead, I hope they don't find anything wrong with the helicopter, and I'll tell you why. Because as soon as I heard he was dead, the first thing I thought of was Yul Brynner as Ramesses in the Ten Commandments. And at his end of his part, he goes for the Israelis, their God is God.
I hear you. Thank you very much, Bernie. Yeah, I mean, what's up with it? Just let it go. You don't have to go crazy saying he's in hell or anything. Just let it go. No condolences. It's too pro forma. The guy standing up there for condolences, people mourning and all this. No. The architect of October 7th. Just think about that. The world's a better place without this guy. Now, it's a limited list. I wouldn't go too far with that just because you differ with someone. Like, say, someone's liberal and it's not about that. This is a level that is earned scorn. Let's go to Bob in Northeast Philly. Bob, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Bob.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dom. How are you?
Good.
Good. Dom, just a quick one. I was just answering for the thief area. I was going to say Willie Sutton.
All right, tell everybody who Willie Sutton is. It's a little bit of a far long ago reference, yeah.
Well, he was well known back then with as a bank robber, and I remember when somebody asked him why he robs banks, he says because that's where the money is.
Yes, that's a classic line.
I always thought that was classic. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, Willie Sutton is the all-timer, and that Bonnie and Clyde a lot more glamorous, but that's what Willie Sutton did. I like Dan's Bernie Madoff too. That guy, you can't give the death penalty for that, but he come pretty close what he was engaged in with Bernie Madoff. What he did.
You know, Willie Sutton was one of the first to garner the nickname Slick Willie. One
okay.
other guy.
Yeah. All right.
Good
so
old Bill Clinton.
855-839-1210. That will get you on board. Coming up, it's just such a pleasure to bring back George Paquetto, and Jody Del Barber is a great friend over the years. With good news, that the deal apparently is set and the Rizzo statue will be released from captivity. So do we need a murders row down in Marconi Plaza of statues? We get Kate Smith. We put her in there too. How many others will we put in? You got room for, I don't know, who's next? I don't know who the number one statue is they want to get rid of right now. I just had a conversation the other day with Roe, Dan, the Chester A. Arthur School. They renamed that. When you were going after Chester A. Arthur, come on. And it was about the Chinese Exclusionary Act or something. Center City School. Chester A. Arthur is not a target in history. And I know the presidents. How much do I know about Chester A. Arthur? Come on. They just wanted to get rid of it and put somebody newer in there. And, okay, you can do that. All right, George Paquetta, Jody Della Barbara, they are next. First, dingers, blasts, moonshots, whatever you call them, everybody loves home runs. And with FanDuel's Dinger Tuesdays, you can love them even more. That's right, every Tuesday. Today is a Dinger Tuesday on America's #1 sportsbook. Just bet on a player to homer, and FanDuel is going to give you $5 in bonus bets for every home run hit during that game, as if you needed another reason to love that long ball. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom to get in on all the Dinger Tuesday action. FanDuel.com/DOM. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Splash into savings this Memorial Day with Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Soak in the relaxation and save big on new Hot Spring and Caldera Hot Tubs and save up to $4,000. Plus, when you buy a new Endless Pool Swim Spa, receive a free Aqua Bike and Exercise Kit, a $2,000 value. Looking to upgrade? Your hot tub could be worth up to $4,000. Hurry into Spring Dance Hot Tubs in Jameson, Exton, or in Plymouth Meeting in PA or in Marlton, New Jersey, and upgrade your backyard this summer. Visit us online at springdancehotTubs.com for more details. Don't miss out on these incredible savings.
Imagine outpatient care where all your needs are met in one location. Jefferson Health's Honickman Center is where you'll discover nationally ranked specialty care and more, like patient ambassadors, imaging and lab services, a pharmacy, calming spaces, and valet parking. Designed by patients for patients. Discover a new level of care, created with you in mind. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like, 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A summer-like weather pattern returns to the Delaware Valley today. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds. It'll be much warmer with a high 85. A mild night tonight under partly cloudy skies with a low 65. And for Wednesday, mix of sun and clouds, hot and more humid with a high 88.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Give me a piece of my daddy. I'm telling you, get away from me.
Dan has gone wild today with this. It is good news, and we have quite an all-star.
Please turn that off.
lineup, particularly of Italians. Frank Rizzo, Palumbo, Vince Fumo, George Paquetto.
They're all my Polish friends.
Well, the point is, at one point in time, there was an equity of Italians who were in power, and there's a bias against them now. And I'm in agreement with that.
Get it all. Don't miss any of it.
Yeah. All right, George Paquetto, all-time lawyer, pugilist, too, I believe. At least he's officiating boxing of one sort or another. And Jody Della Barbara first with us. Jody, of course, was the executive secretary and person that kept Frank Rizzo in line as much as you could. George, congratulations. This, to me, is even thornier and bigger than the Columbus statue. I am shocked at the outcome here. What turned it?
Well, good afternoon, Dom. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you.
What turned it was we were right. The Mayor Kenny's actions were in stark violation of the provisions of the Home Rule Charter regarding how you treat public artwork on display. And it also violated a specific contract that had been entered into between the city and the Rizzo Monument Committee, wherein the city promised in a contract that if they ever wanted to remove the statue or relocate it, they must first offer it back to the Monument Committee, which, of course, they refused to do. And as soon as they ripped that statue out at 1 o'clock in the morning without notice to anybody, within a matter of days, I filed a lawsuit. I've been battling the city for 3.5 years. They thought I was going to give up and go away, but that didn't happen. In fact, I outlasted the mayor. Now we got a new mayor, and she's smart and street smart, and she understands how important it is to respect every ethnic group in Philadelphia. You don't play favorites, and you don't denigrate one ethnic group over another, which was the style of Mayor Kenny.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And, George, we've talked about this, too. Particularly certain type of Italian man, in my view, down there, like the guys protecting the Columbus statue and all that. Visceral hatred across the city of the Packer Park, of the Italians in South Philly, without a doubt. I come around to your point of view on this, and there's a gap there, George, and I'm not sure how it happened with Italians and prominence or power, at least in city government here. Glad you hear that Sherelle Parker recognizes that. Let's bring in, too, the plaintiff in this case. Couldn't have a better plaintiff, George, than Jody Della Barbara. Jody, first of all.
She's my hero.
Well, my first. You know her longer than I, but we've been on many missions together. It's nothing like you get a midnight phone call. Dom, do you know what's happening here? Jody, how you feeling? How are things going?
All right, everything's good. Everything's good.
Good. So
this news is good.
Jody, people, newer people to listen to the station don't realize your prominence there with Rizzo, particularly the fatal day and just over the course of the years. So I know for you, this is a mission that will never end. Where does Jody Della Barbara think is the best place to put the statue?
Well, I don't know an exact place, but I think it's got to be in South Philly and as close to St. Monica's as possible on Rosewood Street, because that's where he grew up. I'll tell you, he loved his family. He loved the city, but his heart was in South Philly until the moment he closed his eyes. He really loved it down here, and I think to honor him, it should be down here. And this is where we originally wanted to put it at Marconi, and then a lot of people said, well, he was the mayor of all the city, but, it didn't work out that great.
My only objection, Jody, because I've thought about this, and I don't know if George and Vince Fumo's on the line to Marconi, that park over on Shunk Street where they did the big Italian wine tasting I went to a couple of times, not enough people.
Park.
Yeah, not enough people at Marconi, let's face it. People blow by and see the Columbus statue, but how many people would actually ever be near it, Jody? That's the only thing I think. Safe, I guess, though.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, people people stop by the Columbus statue because there's always like flowers there or a sign or a flag or something. I mean, to the people in the neighborhood, Marconi means a lot. And Frank Rizzo is the one who had that plaza built for the Italian Americans.
See, the municipal services, now, Jody, you were closer than anybody I've ever been in contact with, arguably, other than Frank Rizzo Jr. When I see Frank Rizzo, more than a cop, and my father served under him out in West Philly, so we knew that part really well, it was constituent service. I don't think anybody in Philadelphia at that time wasn't touched by get this done, get that fixed. That was the genius of it, that he got those things done.
Dom, his phone rang in my house after he left office. He answered every phone call.
Yeah.
And he didn't say, are they a Democrat, Republican, black, white, Asian, Hispanic? And sometimes somebody might be a little annoying, and then he'd call me, give me their number, who had a raccoon in their driveway in Chestnut Hill. And he was still doing it. As a matter of fact, he was getting more done than Wilson Good was while he was out of office.
Yeah, that's why municipal services, whoever came up with that, I thought that was appropriate. Jody, just want to put you on hold for a moment, and let's bring in State Senator Vince Fumo. Senator Fumo, Vince, welcome back to the show. Thanks for calling in today. What are your thoughts?
Hi, Dom.
Hi.
I think this rights an injustice that was done by Jim Kenney to the Italian-American community. I think Jimmy was an absolute disgrace, the worst mayor we've ever had. And as I've said before, I apologize because he worked for me for 20 years and I got him started in politics.
That's right.
Well, boy, did he ever change. I don't know what happened to him, but he was just horrible, horrible. And this was, it was kind of like someone who wanted to forget their own roots. South Philly was Jimmy's root, his area as well. I didn't get along with Rizzo either. But you didn't go around insulting people. And once the statue was up, it should have stayed up. It was just outrageous what he did in the middle of the night, and it was just horrible. And, when I read some accounts that say it was a result of racial injustice and all, that's nonsense. I was down there when the so-called protesters were protesting for Black Lives Matter at the Columbus statue. I don't think there was one black person in that mob. And they looked to me to be all like a bunch of suburban kids who had nothing better to do and just figured, let's go to Philly and mess it up. In the future, I would hope this would not happen ever again to any other ethnic group in the city.
No, Vince, that's exactly shameful. Right. And what is it? Is it just Kenny? That's what I think it is toward Italians. You're right. Something sacred toward an ethnic group. Unless there is just something we can't even imagine, you let it alone. You may not like Rizzo. You may have harbored all that. But this was the most prominent Italian-American, one of the 5 most prominent Philadelphians, arguably, in history. And you said you didn't get along with him. I remember. Sure, there were a lot of feuds, a lot of people. But you don't. That's a sacred rule in Philadelphia. You don't tread on that.
Correct. And, this was already erected. It had overcome any prejudices at the time, and it was put up in a prominent place. And I believe Jimmy Kenney was one of the sponsors of the bill. You just don't go do that. It's just horrible.
Absolutely.
And it's outrageous.
Well, Vince, thank you. Thanks for continued service, too, and particularly what you've done with Columbus down there. I've seen you on the front lines of that. Where would Vince Fumo exactly place Rizzo? If you had your druthers, where should it go?
I don't know either. When you mentioned Girard Park, that does sound good. There might be some problems with that with the Fairmount Park Commission. Wherever it goes, it's going to have to be negotiated with the city, unless it's going to go in a private, backyard somewhere. So I think that's still yet a long process. And knowing Philadelphia as I do, I don't care where they were going to put it. There would be people objecting to it. There would be people objecting to the sign of the cross if we tried to put one up somewhere.
Of course.
So,
that.
It's just Philadelphia nature. And it's
Absolutely.
going to take a leader who's going to say, that's it, this is where it goes. And I've got great confidence in Sherelle. I think she's going to do a great job already. She's night and day compared to Jim Kenney, especially when it comes to law enforcement and personal safety in the city. So I think she's reasonable, and I think we're about to commence upon a long, difficult, arduous road. But in the end, we will find an appropriate place for it.
Absolutely. Vince, thank you. Thanks so much for calling in as usual. Thank you.
And I want to thank George again for his great efforts in this battle.
Absolutely. We do too. Thank you, Vince. George, final word on this then. So now it's trying to find a place. Interesting that where I first saw this reported, they didn't mention Sherelle Parker. I'm glad to hear you say that. The reasonableness here, seeing this, even if you differ with Rizzo, as Vince Fumo did. I don't remember you, but maybe everybody had a feud at Rizzo at one point or another, George, given the prominence in Philadelphia. So when do you think this is going to happen, that the statue will be released and we'll start talking about a place?
Well, we are putting together a committee, Dom, of some of the most prominent people in Philadelphia and diverse people, and not just Italian Americans, but across all ethnic groups. We're putting together a committee. The senator will be on that committee. Jody Della Barber will be on that committee. There will be others. And we're going to find the most appropriate place for it. We then present that to the Art Commission, which needs to approve it.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're okay with that. That's going to work out.
None of those guys with the blank red stuff, like that one guy, if you remember.
Well, I think the Art Commission and the Historic Commission have a better and deeper understanding of their oaths of office now that we've gone through 5 years of litigation on the Columbus statue and the Rizzo statue. And, I wanted to just share with you and your listeners, Dom, a little anecdote about Senator Fumo and the Columbus statute. When we finally got the court order to rip down the box, we got it on a Friday afternoon, and the court order specifically said that we, the committee, could go there and remove the box. Well, Senator Fumo was there, and he sat right in front of the statue, right to the main entrance to where the box was. And the mayor, Mayor Kenney at the time, had dispatched about 25 police officers to Marconi Plaza and said, we plan to take an appeal, and we're not going to recognize that court order. And if you put one hand on that box, we're going to arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess who wouldn't move?
Yeah.
And in the face of 25 police officers, Senator said, go ahead and arrest me. This is a court order. This is the rule of law, and we're going to stand up for it. And, when you have that kind of leadership, when you have that kind of steely determination, things get done. Good things happen. And we need more of that in our city government, and I think Sherelle Parker is going to bring that. So I applauded Senator Fumo at the time, and I applaud Mayor Sherelle Parker right now for everything she's doing to support us.
Absolutely. George, thank you, too, though. Nobody combines the legal background, the showmanship, which is necessary in Philadelphia, and the edge, which is necessary as you do. You were made for Philadelphia.
No problem with the edge, Dom.
Absolutely. Thank you, George.
See you, bud.
Take care. And let's say goodbye to Jody, too. Jody, thank you. Want to catch up with you, and I'm so glad that you were the plaintiff in this.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure Jim Kenney wasn't happy with that, but I am.
Let me know if there's any Kenny sightings out there. We'd like to say hello to him on a day like this.
Yeah, he might be under a rock somewhere. Or under a bar stool.
All right. Thank you, Jody. Thanks, Jody Della Barber, very, very much. All right. So it's underway. Where should they put Frank Rizzo? You heard it here first, 855-839-1210. That's great stuff. What a cast of characters, too, involved. And Jim Kenney surfaces again. All right. Hit me on the side question, too, here. Batteries plus bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield. Roy and his staff are just tremendous. Roy just sent me recently a whole bunch of reviews of various things that people. Well, yesterday I had someone on Twitter with that Remington chainsaw, and really it was a clock thing I told you about. Roy told me last week, I call him, every couple of months just to get an update on things. I just want people to know what we do here. We fix things. We get them rolling. I don't care if they're 25, 30 years dead, whatever. They bring them back to life. They get that sometimes people have an issue with technology. It's something sentimental or it's business, and you want an energy audit. They'll come to your place to do it. All you have to do is pick up the phone. You don't even have to go there the first time around, but you can stop in to the two stores, Mount Laurel and Northfield. Roy started the original Batteries Plus Bulbs 18 years ago, so this is like a superstore. Say hello to his master tech, Chris Sharp, when you call, Farrah, the store manager. Mention my name when you stop into Roy's store. Be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use in the Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. No purchase necessary. Call 856-638-0778. 856-638-0778. Again, they make things happen for you. Your phone, anything, technology, Batteries Plus Bulbs.
Crash Proof Retirement is taking an aggressive, bold step, becoming the very first firm in history to record and store all financial meetings. This unprecedented initiative documents that at Crash Proof Retirement, fiduciary responsibility is not just something we say, it's a legally binding guarantee that we've always delivered to the Philadelphia region.
Savannah McHugh, Montgomery County. Wall Street will tell you they're looking out for your best interest. They say that fiduciary thing, and then it goes out the window. Crash Proof is saying, not only are we saying it to you, but we're going to put it on film. There's no shadow over anything that they do. That's the difference. Crash Proof Retirement has taken the time to show that they care so that we can go home, go to sleep, and not have to worry about it.
Learn why recording financial meetings validates Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding, how much I love my new patio doors. You know by now, if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I'd only trust the Chapman team. If you're thinking of updating your current siding or removing your current stucco and replacing it with siding, think Chapman. With the new updated siding choices available, the curb appeal of your home will pop. If you currently have stucco, updating it with James Hardy plank or vinyl siding will truly add value to your home. If you're looking to sell, you can bet buyers will value updated new siding. And right now would be a good time to get ahead of the ball and plan your siding project for 2024. The certified Chapman installers are the folks you want on the job. If you or someone you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, stucco remediation, shutters, or hardware, give them a call or text them 610-431-8898, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Chapman, the name I trust. Tell them Dawn sent you.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but once I did, I couldn't believe it took so long to do it. Paying too much for my cable bill had become a bad habit. I either wasn't getting what I wanted or never knew where to find any of my favorite shows until it was too late. Plus, the prices just kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. For just $25 a month, I can catch all my favorite shows on networks like BET, MTV, and TLC. It even has Nickelodeon for my kids. I can watch anytime I want, anywhere I want. Plus, Philo lets me have up to 3 streams at once, so everyone can watch what they want at the same time. Throw in the unlimited DVR that saves all my favorites for up to a year, and this really is the best deal in TV. I just wish I hadn't waited so long. Sound too good to be true? Well, try it out for yourself, and you'll see why people who love TV love Philo. Go to philo.tv, that's PHILO.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I'm dazed and confused, hanging on by a thread. All right, Tom Giordano show. So the big news, the Rizzo statue coming out of captivity. Now, what about Kate Smith? The Flyers are just...
Let me tell you something.
They're just awful. They don't want the statue. You know, the PC... I interviewed Ed Snyder once, Dan, and I can tell you, you talk about a driven guy. he admired it that I cornered him in a movie theater. I heard he would be there. He was one of the backers of the Ayn Rand series. And all he said is, well, I don't know too much about the film, but the house is kind of light. Can't we get some more people in there? Why don't you go on the radio and get them here? And he was the type of guy, never would have countenance putting a bag over the head of Kate Smith. Kate Smith, who's just the nicest person. My God. She's the worst example of let her alone in her time. There was one song, all right, take Kate Smith out of there. Well, let her go. Ernie Triano would get a truck, and I think he told me would be there in a half hour, and put the statue right there on the boardwalk. Put it where people can see it. Problem with the Rizzo statue, though, if you don't put it in an area that's gated around it and plexiglass and all that, you have a sense of what's going to happen. The takeaway the media is missing here, though, as they are waking up to this and what's happened, and they'll be on it, the next 24 hours, is that Mayor Sherrell Parker is reasonable on this and working with them, found a path here to get this. Now, where's the appropriate place for the Frank Rizzo statue? All right, we'll continue to update you on that. Coming up, Riley Gaines, new book out today, among other things. We'll talk about the book, catch up with her. Don't forget the side question here on Talk Radio 1210.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, it's Dawn for Anderson Mechanical Corporation. AMC does a variety of commercial and industrial work. Their fascinating projects include multi-location businesses, large car dealerships, even medical care facilities. AMC's clients appreciate their commitment to staying on budget, value engineering, and completing projects correctly, no matter what it takes. Call AMC at 215-766-9890. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Don't miss Toyota Cole Hamels Retirement Night on Friday, June 21st at 6:40 when the Phils host the D-backs, and fans 15 and over receive a 2009 NL Champs replica ring. Order now at Phillies.com. No shade necessary. All fans will receive a pair of London 2024 sunglasses presented by SEI on Wednesday, June 5th at 4:05 when the Phils host the Brewers. Order tickets now at Phillies.com.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me MD.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles.
Highly logical.
Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Ethan is in New Jersey. He wants to talk about the protesters at Drexel.
It's very easy for people to say Free Palestine or from the river to the sea or whatever they're saying. Scariest thing for me is that a lot of these people don't know what they're talking about.
Ethan, we appreciate the call. Thank you very much, buddy. How about that? Well, not too often we get high school graduates 18 years old calling into the show. I think that's another demo we're kicking ass in.
By the way, guys, another good month.
Yeah, I know.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. One of the all-time favorites, Riley Gaines. Finally, her book is out today. We got her on the big day. Of course, what else is the title? Swimming Against the Current, Fighting for Common Sense in a World That's Lost Its Mind. And every time she's on, we talk about the fact that, fate struck out, and she was going to go to dental school, and it chose Riley Gaines to carry the torch here, thanks to Leah Thomas and the mob. And she has become a one-woman gang around simply common sense. Let's go to author Riley Gaines on Talk Radio 1210. Riley, congratulations. How far in the future is dental school at this point? We need some cavities filled here.
Well, let me tell you, I kind of joke, but it honestly feels, so I was in school to be an endodontist, weirdly enough, which is root canal, and it honestly feels like I'm still getting to the root of problems coming out of people.
Ouch!
So I think I'm still, and it's not really just painful.
Yeah, well, the book...
I'll tell you, now I can't imagine going back to school. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, after all this, and again, it's not just the transgender, the female sports, it's the whole idea of the common sense sort of stuff. I wanted to ask you, I think since the last time we talked, too, you were on with Gutfeld, so you were doing comedy, and I know that can be tricky, and you were on with Joe Rogan. What can you tell us about those two? Yeah.
Well, it's a totally different setting, and it was hard for me at first because, honestly, I take what I do very seriously. Like, I don't take light to the fact that what we're dealing with, the severity and the harm that it's causing. But I've reached a point where I feel like you almost have to mock what is already a mockery. Because what we're living through as it pertains to the gender ideology movement, especially sports, I mean, it feels like a big SNL skit. Like, I think there actually are SNL skits that are like this, and those are meant to be objectively funny. And so I feel like shine light on the insanity of what we're dealing with, and I think we can do that through comedy. And so Gutfeld's awesome. I'm going to be on Gutfeld tonight. Make sure you are tuning in. Joe Rogan, I've been on Bill Maher's podcast and show now, which he's certainly a character. And so, but that's more me and my everyday life. I'm a very lighthearted, fun, energetic person. And so it's nice to be able to kind of tap into that side of me as a person as well.
Well, I think Bill Maher is in agreement with you, not on everything, of course, but on this. And to your point about comedy, he's one of the biggest forces to mock this, push back against it. So tell me, in the book, what's the favorite thing that you got to write about, got to explore, swimming against the current?
Well, the book was a nice outlet for me to be able to extend beyond just the headlines, right? Because you look at, obviously we know our media is biased, And I think that certainly goes both sides. But most of the media is left-leaning, and most of the headlines would describe me as an anti-trans swimmer who wants to ban trans athletes. My book makes it very clear, my stance. I am not against – I mean, the position that I've taken these past 2 years, I'm not standing against anything. I'm not saying that trans athletes shouldn't compete or that trans people or people who identify as trans or who struggle with gender exist. Of course not. But what I am saying is that safety and fairness should be prioritized over inclusion. Everyone should compete. Just compete in the category that's safe and fair. How is that overly controversial? I'm still trying to figure that out. So it's just nice to be able to go in depth into that national championships, into the silencing that we face, the locker room aspect, the trajectory of where we're going, the broader picture of this, why this matters and what we as everyday people can do about it.
Yeah, and a couple of things there. I'll get to what it takes to put on your swimsuit when you compete at the level that you did. But, you know, some of these people I hear, not just their ideology, they don't understand what makes a champion. They don't understand competition. They don't understand how intense you were, maybe swimming next to almost anything because of its tenth of a second here and there, what you did in training and the natural advantage of Leah Thomas. Riley, some of these people just don't get what sports has done for me, for you, but principally over the last 20 years for females. At the highest levels to experience that, it is beyond. I've never experienced it. You are at a level that I will not know. And how could you diminish or dismiss that by just allowing people with an advantage to be into that?
It's such a good point you make, because truly most of the people, I would say 90% of the people who are championing males being able to infiltrate into our spaces, infiltrate into our sports, are people who have never played a sport in their entire lives or don't have a daughter. I think back to a few weeks ago, it was in the California State House. Representative Scott Wiener, which of course that's his last name. He was standing on the House floor. It was actually on Trans Visibility, whatever day, made up day, fictional holiday they made up. But he's standing on the House floor and he starts sharing the account of that national championships and saying that I'm acting out of a place of fear of trans people and that hatred and all the things. And so I commented back to him and I said, you know, it's always the people who have never played sport in their entire lives. And he commented back, it was so funny on Twitter, and he said, clearly you've never heard of the Gay Kickball League, to which I commented back again, let's correct myself. It's always the people who have never played sport in their entire lives.
Wait a minute, this guy's holding up the competitive swimming that is beyond unimaginable to the Gay Kickball League. Oh my God. So, Riley.
Pretty comparable, right?
Yeah. So, Riley, with the Olympics coming up, I don't know. How are the Olympic regulations at this point? It seemed like they were moving toward the position of trying to greatly curtail somebody winning here, someone beating truly biologically female athletes. Do you have a sense that that's changed with the Olympics at least?
So the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, as you can imagine, are just as cowardly as the next guy, like the NCAA. So the position that the NCAA and the IOC has now taken is basically admittance that they know this is wrong. They're saying they used to have a blanket policy in place, but now they're saying, well, we're just going to leave it up to each specific sport governing body to make its own rules. But here is our framework. And you know what the framework of the International Olympic Committee says? It says that you cannot presume that males possess any advantage over females. They say that's actually unverified, alleged, and perceived. Those are the three words they use. And they say until we can prove there is data and evidence that males, on average, are advantageous over females in sports, then we cannot discriminate on the basis of transgender status. That is what the Olympics says. They say there is no difference between males and females whatsoever. And if you disagree or if you even dare to question this, then you're the bigot.
Wow. Riley, the book out today, Swimming Against the Current, available all over the place. What else in the book, in addition to what we've been talking about? What else did we learn about Riley Gaines, or what else do you emphasize in your book?
It's I speak to my background a little bit, my family. I'm so fortunate to have such a wonderful family. I've got, I come from a family of athletes. My dad, he was an NFL player. He actually played with the Eagles.
Well, wait, we got to underline this. So what's his first name? What's his first name?
Brad. Brad Gaines.
Okay.
It's pretty unique. He played, of course, in the SEC. I'm entirely biased, and the SEC is the best conference. I said it. My dad, he was an SEC Hall of Famer. His story is pretty unique in the way that when he was in college, he was playing a game against Ole Miss. My dad played at Vanderbilt. Long pass thrown to my dad. My dad catches the ball. The Ole Miss player by the name of Chucky Mullins ends up tackling my dad, but the way he tackled, he ended up breaking his neck and ultimately passing away.
Oh, God.
And so, but it's wild because ESPN has covered the story of my dad and Chucky for forever. They have documentaries in SEC, stories in 30 for 30s, and ever since I started speaking out, they've taken it off their rotation, which is wild. So anyways, all that to say, my upbringing, my family, my faith, which is foundational in my life, it's the center of everything that I do. And like I said, just what we can do. I think it's a guide more so. It's something that I wish I had when I was faced with this, when I didn't know what resources I didn't, the support that was out there. Now I certainly do. I have met so many amazing people who are standing right alongside me in spite. And that's what this book is.
Yeah. Well, and also the inspiration, Scanlon, when I've had her on a couple times, each time that she's on, she gets better. She was nervous in the beginning, but has grown into that. And there's thousands, you probably hear this, little girls across the country that are seeing this, modeling it. And I'm still convinced, Riley, even though it's a little bit slow at times, this is the low-hanging fruit on all this transgendered stuff where reasonable people say, no way are we going to penalize females. So congratulations, Riley. We love all the work that you do. Hope to meet you in person at some point if you're coming through Philadelphia. Are you coming through Philadelphia?
Well, we love you guys. So thank you for everything that you guys do. Thanks for continually having me on and continuing to shed light on the insanity, and I'm just grateful for you guys, so thank you.
Thanks, Riley. Thanks. We'll be watching tonight with Gutfeld.
You got it. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Dan, that would be more nerve-wracking than facing Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
She's not a comedian. When you're on that type of thing, there's a little bit of nervous type of stuff. You want to get in one good line at the beginning, then relax. If you don't, then it's a little bit hard. All right, so Riley Gaines, the book, Swimming Against the Current. Thanks to Dan, who has broken through and been able to talk with her on any number of issues that are out there. It's a slow battle with this. I think I'm glad she appreciated what I said, that some of these people, like this guy in California, they really haven't played sports. I haven't played sports, or Dan, at a level like that. I mean, the intensity of South Philadelphia is more the violence, Dan, more than anything. But, at the level of 100th of a second, and these idiots saying, well, what's the big deal? Be inclusive. Well, we are being inclusive. Any female can participate. What's not inclusive about that? How's that fair? Well, it's not. It's not about that. It's about people that don't know what they're talking about in addition to everything else. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. Don't forget the side question. Hit us with an all-time robber or thief in dishonor of Michael Cohen talking about stealing $30,000. Get in on that at 855-839-1210.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was that QC Kinetics treats pain associated with osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
I'm Philomena, founder of Kin Apparel here in Philly. I love my natural hair, but not what hoodies and hats were doing to it. So I made my own satin-lined hoodies and created a business in the process. I've got big dreams, and Chase for Business in Philly was like, all right, how do we get you there?
Get financial guidance from bankers in your community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Splash into savings this Memorial Day with Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Soak in the relaxation and save big on new Hot Spring and Caldera Hot Tubs and save up to $4,000. Plus, when you buy a new Endless Pool Swim Spa, receive a free Aqua Bike and Exercise Kit, a $2,000 value. Looking to upgrade? Your hot tub could be worth up to $4,000. Hurry into Spring Dance Hot Tubs in Jameson, Exton, or in Plymouth Meeting in PA or in Marlton, New Jersey, and upgrade your backyard this summer. Visit us online at springdancehot.com for more details. Don't miss out on these incredible savings.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save a buck or two. The bad,
Kevin, there's no hot water.
so you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Your dog is gonna have a puppy. All right, Dom Giordano's show. Dan, even the Philadelphia Inquirer doing the right thing, saying what a nice event it is. The Farley event where you and I will be broadcasting from this coming Friday.
Hey.
I didn't know that Pete Chiraki, Chicky and Pete's owner, will ride a cherry picker at the toll plaza and wave a race flag to start the promotion, paying all the motorists eastbound through the Egg Harbor toll plaza between 4 and 5 p.m. this Friday. It's an hour earlier than usual. We'll be there, of course, noon till 3. Pete says he's not sure of the cost to his company. For decades, it was known as the dollar tolls. And then they say inflation. Well, Inquirer, it's not just inflation. It's Bill Murphy and Joe Biden. That inflation, this magic thing, it just happens.
That's the one time they actually mention inflation.
But they act like inflation's a person. No, people voted. They've driven the auto toll to $470 this year, up from $455 in 2023 and $440 in 2022. Back when this was the dollar tolls, they no longer say that about this. So it's a nice event, and it's a great festival over at Farley, where Dan and I will be, and it's supposed to be sunny. You know, they have Rose coming this time, Dan. So, yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yesterday, a little birthday dinner. So we were in the dining room meeting, and I got a special privilege, Dan. Ro had made eggplant parm, Well, she made the spaghetti. The
Well,
eggplant
first off,
parm was the
happy birthday,
leftover.
yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that I hate is getting dirty that expensive tablecloth on the dining room table.
Wait,
So-
hold on.
Yes.
She made you baked ziti for your birthday dinner?
No, spaghetti and
I thought you
eggplant
said-
parm. Eggplant
I thought you
parm.
said
and-
baked ziti, okay.
No, I took the baked
I was
ziti
gonna say,
off.
then
You're
how-
burying the lead here. But
go ahead, sure. Yeah.
yes, we eat there. But at a certain point, I'm just afraid a drop of spaghetti. You know what that means? Inflation. Biden again. How much that tablecloth's going to cost? So she allowed me to roll up the tablecloth. That's my message here. I wrote that one down. Yes, that was a birthday.
Was there back and forth over it before you were allowed to
Yes,
roll it?
because she, once she goes with the dining room type of
Well,
thing.
she wanted to make it nice for you, right?
Everything is in place. There's stuff hidden so you can't see the presents. There's all kind of tiers. It's It's a production. Yes.
It's kind of like we just got a new couch. It's like we don't want to sit on it.
Ah,
It's like, what's the point of having the
okay.
tablecloth if you're not going to use it? Come on.
Well, you use it for a show like that, then you roll it up. But, might I recommend with the couch, if you ever consider putting plastic over it?
Oh, come on. No. It's so South Philly of you, Dom.
Yes, it is. No, we never had the plastic, but I would say at one
the
point.
Barca Lounger would still be around if you had the plastic, though.
True, but I mean, even back in South Philly when I lived, no plastic.
Yeah.
But I would bet growing up, easily 50 to 60% of places I would go over in South Philly had the plastic, and in the summer, it gets to be a bit much. You know what I mean? You're sticking to it no matter what.
And what happens, because it's always the older generation, though, and it somehow passes on. It's like as you grow older as an Italian, it's like, I got to protect my couches. I got to get
Exactly,
the plastic.
yes.
And where do you even find the plastic? Is there, in South Philly, are there like corner plastic dealers
there were
that
guys.
will wrap your couches?
Yeah, there were guys
No,
that
really?
would wrap your couch. Oh, of course.
Cellophane guys? They'll call it a cellophane guy?
Or plastic guys. Oh, yeah. I bet there are people listening right now that still have the couch.
Jim, were your couches wrapped growing up? You're a South Philly kid.
He's Irish.
Actually, I can remember my stepmother gave me some furniture when I bought my first house, and she's Italian, and she did have it wrapped up in all the plastic. And as Dom said, I'm laying down one day, it's hot out, and you got to like almost peel yourself off of it. I'm like, this has got to go. That's it.
Yeah. All right. You got to protect those things. You don't have to be paying for that. All right, it's 855.
What's with the Godfather music playing?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's storytelling.
I don't think the Corleones had any plastic.
No, they didn't. The Corleones, that's you can tell they were rich Italians, no plastic.
I mean, you would think that the Corleones would to cover up the blood,
Right, exactly.
Most Italian song I know.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, so Chicky and Pete's Farley this Friday. It's an annual event. Don't forget Dom Giordano Day. Hopefully tomorrow, the big guest that we have for this year will be on with us, and I think you're going to really enjoy this one. And Dan, might I say, too, Roe thought this is the all-timer. We're looking for a Tom Jones impersonator.
Would be great. Anybody out there?
Anybody has a line on a Tom Jones impersonator, or you are one, we'd love to.
I mean, this is kind of how Real Diamond happens. We were talking about Neil Diamond one day.
And he's a listener. Somebody told him,
happened to be listening, or you had a friend.
And you're scouting up bands, Dan, so we're in the market for a band, too.
Yeah, if you want to play Dom Giordano Day, reach out. Give Jim a call, 855-839-1210, behind the scenes. He'll give you my email, and we can get something set up. If you plan on coming down to Wildwood, play some instruments, maybe you want to get up there with the microphone, we'll talk. Send us a little demo. Yeah.
This is going to be, I don't know how you can top last year. We were made firemen. I think I was made fire chief, and Dan, deputy fire chief.
Yeah.
Might be something in the
if
offing
there's a
share.
person drowning or if there's a fire in Wildwood,
we got that
you know who to
covered.
call. Yeah,
I don't remember. We haven't been deputized as cops. If we get the cops over there, I'd like to try a taser on a lucky listener.
One thing we didn't have to do, they didn't throw the brick in the deep end. We didn't have to die for it.
That's true.
Do you think we could pass that test?
I'm not getting past my knees, so you may have to handle that. All right, 855. Most of the lifeguards I see, I don't know about most, but it appears to be a slim majority, Dan. Why is that? They're females now. In Wildwood, anyhow. North Wildwood.
I don't know.
It's a small minor. It's very close. It's about 50-50. I don't have any preference.
There's a lot of guy lifeguards down at the Jersey Shore, particularly because they have the tradition of the lifeguard races.
Yes.
So they're trying to recruit and, have strong, rowers for those types of things. So I don't know.
I want Riley Gaines
Maybe
saving me. I mean, here's your choices, Dan. They're both on the lifeguard stand. Riley Gaines, Leah Thomas. Who do you want saving you?
Is there CPR involved?
Well, that's what I was kind of alluding to. How about the guy in San Francisco, the California Senate, though, telling Riley Gaines, I know about competition, honey. You've never played gay kickball.
Do I have that clip? I'm going to try to find that here.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine? All right. It's 855-839-1210. You get a line. You can get on board. We were all set. I am loving this thing to talk about, and we hope to get him on tomorrow.
It's not something you want to Google. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay. Yeah, all right. The head of the local union there's an emergency meeting today. We'll take him at his word. I hope that's the case. Not that suddenly he got cold feet. It happens. Says that Sherelle Parker is just wrong on this whole thing with the unions and going back to work. As I understand it, it's not every day they have to go into work. It's something hybrid around that. But I'm fascinated by it. How many businesses now are having trouble, and you have to offer this perk to work from home at least most of the time? I'm never going to be convinced that it is as efficient, that it works as well, at least going in 3 or 4 days a week or something like that. It's an obvious thing. It's too cumbersome to deal with not being there with your colleagues and able to work. I mean, I get the perk of it. But don't tell me it's more efficient. Well, that's a battle going on right now in Philadelphia. She apparently didn't get the okay of the unions and said July 15th. We had a guy lined up, but we hope to do it tomorrow because this is a big, big contention that's going on. What's going on with Trump today is you're going to have Merchan, hopefully today, rule on the Trump defense attorney's motion to dismiss the case. He should dismiss it. Based upon the fact we've never connected the dots. Whether you believe the dots could connect, they haven't even made an attempt to connect the dots of what the dual crimes are here by Trump. That's one thing. The other thing is they're going to go over the charge that the jury would get. And I am more convinced every day, almost for the last 2.5, 3 weeks, what's going to happen here is there's going to be a hung jury. And it may take a couple days, and this judge will send them back, and he'll give a new charge. He will try to manipulate, but in the end, it's going to be a hung jury. The only thing I worry about, people get up on Twitter and all over, they get crazy. They say things like, well, why do you worry? Even if Trump's convicted, that's going to help him. It's not going to help here. If you want to win, you have to be clear-eyed about this. So ultimately, it would not. But if it's a hung jury, then he has the home court advantage. He's going to roll. And without some events that we can't predict at this point, Trump is going to win. That's what's at stake here with this jury. And if there are more than one, if there are at least 2 or 3 that say no, there's no case here, they'll be able to hold out against the others, and you're going to see a hung jury here. Would they prosecute again? Yeah, they might. The overkill of that would help Trump. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, you just push pound 1210. By the way, Justice Alito under fire, not just for the flag upside down, but now they're after Alito because he sold Bud Light stock. Admits, says the people reporting this, an anti-trans boycott effort. He sold it when he noticed, good for the judge, that Bud Light lost its mind and had put Dylan Mulvaney in as the spokesperson, or at least one of them. That's when he sold his stock. Good move. And he bought Molson. Well, they're saying this is indicative that Alito can't be in on LGBTQ cases. He was clearly doing this to be part of the boycott movement. Really? Or could he said, yeah, watch this? Or could his broker or whoever he deals with say, hey, Judge, you think Bud Light's not going to have trouble and Bud is a brand because of this? Maybe you want to be taking a look at your stock portfolio. Okay, 855-839-1210. We will get you on board. Don't forget, June 21st, Dom Day. Dan, it's the 5th anniversary, or the 5th time. Yeah. So the traditional gift is wood. I don't know if we want people bringing things of wood to Mulligan's, but
that would be great. I'd love some. Well,
okay, but the
stop short there.
The modern version of it, Dan, that's the old-fashioned one, is silverware.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, so a nice set of silverware would be fine for Dom. Remember that one of the first years it was fancy Hawaiian necklaces because Aloha was banned.
Yeah. So you want a bunch of silverware brought to Mulligan's?
Yeah, I mean, a nice silverware set, nice cutlery.
You're going to end up with like 500 pieces of silverware.
We'll find some way of cleaning them and storing them.
That's like if everyone brings one. We want like, you sure you don't want wood?
Maybe some nice wood. What are you thinking? A nice...
I don't know what the hell you want made out of wood, but there's got to be something, right?
Yeah, that's the old-fashioned, Dan.
I could use a new deck off the back of my house.
So you and Maisie, it's only year 2, right?
Yeah.
I haven't looked that up yet. Yeah, but you were going together for like 20 years, so it's been a decade, right? Yeah, decade's got to be
it's been a decade.
Gift. Yes.
Yeah, so what's 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what's the anniversary for 10 years?
I didn't look that up. You can Google that.
Yeah.
But wood is for 5
Tin
years.
or aluminum? All right, you're getting aluminum foil, babe.
We'll give you some
Make
aluminum
your ring
siding.
out of tin foil.
Yes. All right, let me tell you about Captain Chucky's. And Captain Chucky's, I'm told by people at Captain Chucky's, is going so big. Be watching, and Dan, you know how much I love these. Be watching for planes flying over. You know, the banner planes? This summer will be flying over the beaches of South Jersey.
Oh, yeah?
Touting Captain Chucky's.
Ooh.
They haven't asked me to put a photo up there going like this, waving and saying, try the bisque,
But you should try the bisque. It's
yeah,
really good.
but that's how well Captain Chucky's is going. Memorial Day, if your planning is underway, graduation party planning, Captain Chucky's to the rescue. Order delicious seafood and make that gathering a hit. Let Captain Chucky's help. Don't forget to order the brand new Bang Bang Jumbo Lump Crab Cake. Delicious, creamy, 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab with a kick for those who like to spice it up with some heat. Check your store for availability. Important to call them up. Perfect time, too, to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuff, mushrooms, various salads, tremendous variety, homemade desserts. They have it all, and they're knowledgeable. They'll help you plan. Captain Chucky's, several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes, literally a crab cake for everybody. They use only the highest quality ingredients. That Gulf shrimp, particularly as we head into the summer. Huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. And my favorite, the Dom roll. Also, Captain Chucky's, a lot of locations to serve you. Simple to find them. Go to welovecrabcakes.com. Easy. welovecrabcakes.com. If you're headed to the shore, watch for those banner planes. And don't forget, Captain Chucky's is at the shore. Visit CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, businessman, and TV fan. People always come to me for investment advice. So here's a quick tip for you. Stop overpaying for cable and switch to Philo. What's Philo? It's the best way to watch more than 70 of your favorite channels and save big on your monthly bills. You can stream top channels like AMC, A&E, Discovery, Live, and On Demand. Philo's also got a library with thousands of hours of movies and shows just waiting for you. Plus, an unlimited DVR that lets you save all your favorites and rewatch them for up to 1 year. All of this for just $25 a month. You don't need me to tell you that this is a deal you need to make. Philo, now and forever.
Head on over to philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. And start your 7-day free trial now.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Hey, Philly, it's Ike Reese. In the city of brotherly love, the only thing we love more than our teams is great savings. And with unlimited welcome from Verizon, you can save big, even if you're on a single line. For a limited time, single lines start at just $50 a month when you bring your own phone. With auto pay plus taxes and fees, that's a savings of $15 a month. And when you switch, now you can save on the things you love, like Netflix and Max, all on the most awarded 5G network. Now that's a real win. There's never been a better time to switch to the network America relies on. But this offer won't last long. Visit your local Verizon store to switch and save big today.
$180 BYOD promo credit and $360 local promo credit applied over 36 months. For new customers with one line on your own 4G, 5G phone on unlimited welcome plan required. Additional terms apply. Auto pay and paper-free billing required. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. $10 a month for each My Plan perk. Additional terms and conditions apply per perk.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show. Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A summer-like weather pattern returns to the Delaware Valley today. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds. It'll be much warmer with a high 85. A mild night tonight under partly cloudy skies with a low 65. And for Wednesday, mix of sun and clouds, hot and more humid with a high 88.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
So, but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously, but...
Oh, I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence the people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but I'm saying what I really think is true.
All right, that from The View today with Bill Maher. It wasn't as intense as I thought. They were basically giving him a lot of space. All right, this group, this Bet Online group, Josh Barton's a guy, comes up with unusual things that are political to bet on. Which drug will Joe Biden test positive for at the great debate? The number one answer I agree with. I believe that they should be drug tested for this. I know that's ludicrous, but it is noticeable, like the State of the Union, Biden, even though screaming a lot, was vaguely cogent versus what you see. The big events, in other words, Dan, he's better than he is on a day-to-day. Why is that?
Can I guess what the med?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it Adderall?
Yes, Adderall.
Yeah. It really looks like it, man. You're right.
Yeah, Adderall's number one. That's 2-1. Methamphetamine, I don't know about that. Now we're getting a little, that's...
Adderall is a methamphetamine.
Yeah, right. It's 3-1. Cocaine, I don't see 4-1. Steroids, 5-1. Angel Dust, 6-1. Viagra, 15-1. That might be a possibility. Magic mushrooms, 13-1. Biden,
no,
Biden doesn't need any of those.
Fetterman?
Can you imagine? Fentanyl, 500-1. No, I think it's Adderall.
Definitely an upper.
Yeah. And Adderall is also, and not just an upper, isn't it a focus drug?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's used.
There have been people caught taking the SATs because they're learning disabled, they are able to take care, and that's something they would take.
Well, it's given to a lot of kids for ADHD. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
Really
Yeah.
hones in the focus. And I remember in college, when it came to finals week, I didn't partake in this, but kids were looking to buy Adderall from other kids who had ADHD so they can load up and, get their focus going. And what would happen is, they'd get the really big eyes that you see Joe Biden have. And it's almost like, I hate to use this term, but like methed out, but on a lesser degree. And what Adderall is it's an amphetamine salt.
Exactly. So it's not just the energy, it's the focus.
And I wonder, though, could the excuse, is he actually on Adderall, and is this something they prescribed him? Does he have ADHD? Is it tied to his past stuttering? I don't know.
No, I think it's just they realize there's a big issue here. I'm still not in the camp, as close as we get to this, that Trump did the right thing by immediately agreeing to the debate. And President Trump asked about this. This is cut 6. Here's what he said about why he accepted the debate, even with Jake Tapper as the host.
Even though fake news CNN and fake tech, do you know fake Tapper is going to be one of the people? But they said to me the other day, sir, CNN with fake tap, and he is a fake, but let's see how he does. I think he's under a lot of pressure, to be fair. But fake Tapper is going to be heading up the team that interrogates you. I said, that's okay. I accept the debate. I accept it. You know why? Because nobody thought he was going to debate. They didn't think I'd accept it. I accept. Then another one called. They put out another one. I said, I accept. They didn't even tell me where it was, who it was. I didn't care. What the hell difference does it make? I mean, So we did something that they were shocked at. They had no idea that, they figured, well, we're not going to do CNN, and we're not going to have Tapper be the guy. And we're not going to have other people involved in that show that, they thought there was no negotiation. I said, I accept anything you want. Let's debate. And now they're shocked. They don't know what the hell to do because they have a debate.
All right, so Adderall apparently, Dan says, narcolepsy, certainly falling asleep, that could help. Look, the criticism I have here with Trump, though, nobody's going to say anything if you were negotiating this. The thing I don't like in the debate is there won't be any audience there. So here's what happens. If you don't have an audience and you're Trump, in the first debate against Biden, I think Trump was a little bit over-aggressive. And people see that, and it lets Biden off the hook. He seems to have learned from, I don't think he's going to do that again. Problem is, without any audience to play off, your timing, your rhythm, and all those things. And I know you could say, well, how in the world can't you just flick this guy away? That's exactly what they want. Low expectations. If he barely can stand up for 90 minutes, a success. So we want to temper this. Trump can do the bravado, but we want to also say, no. This guy's president of the United States. The low expectations with this, they don't fly. And I think Jake Tapper's under more pressure to go after Trump than not. Is he really going to be under pressure with CNN, et cetera, to be fair here? Or is he going to go to and not only that, the CNN fact checker, that guy, every time you see it, it's beyond annoying. Maybe he'll jump into the ring here. Now, Biden's not much of a threat on this at all. I get that. Is it going to expose him, though, as just completely unable to move forward? Probably not. They might be able to get by over a 90-minute period. All right, phone lines, though, to get in are 855-839-1210. If you missed the top of the show, we brought you first with all the players. The Rizzo statue is coming out of captivity. The deal with Sherelle Parker, good for her, and George Paquetto and the others we had on. They don't know where they're going to put it yet. It's got to be secure. And I'd say it's got to be in a prominent spot where people can see it. But given everything, that is a real plus. First Columbus, then Rizzo. This is what we're reduced to, taking public things out of captivity. That's what Philadelphia has become. I haven't seen the media onslaught because yesterday, Dan, and I'm still looking back. Look, I have nothing against Jalen Hurts. Pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's in the top 5 in the NFL based on last year. He's in the top 10. He does this women's festival, though, and it just seems the way the media is playing it and the way he played it a bit, this is a contrast to what the field goal kicker from Kansas City said. And the Inquirer even interjects the coverage with all of that. It is endless. The bishop in Kansas City was supportive of him, sort of, but seemed to suggest maybe this sort of Catholicism is not for everybody. And the only thing people care about are the things he said about the homemaker, not what he said about Biden, the hypocrisy, not what he said about the bishops and others, not really being front and center with what Catholic doctrine is. As long as he doesn't say anything else before the beginning of the year, I think it'll calm down. If he says anything else, they mean to take this guy out come hell or high water. He's too much of a threat. This just exposed how far we're going to go to suppress people. All right, so side question. Hit us with that all-time thief or robber in dishonor of Michael Cohen. Let's go to Charlie in Pennsylvania. Hey, Charlie, thanks for the wait. What do you have today?
Hi, Dom. How are you?
Good.
My side question, my guy was Bernie Madoff before Bernie Madoff, Charles Ponzi.
Yes, the Ponzi scheme, which is a great scheme until it runs out. I don't know what the critical mass is when it's going to run out to the theory of the Ponzi scheme, but it certainly is a name that will live in dishonor. That's a good one, Ponzi. All right, hit us with the thief, real or fictional. That's what we're looking for. Day and Time with Dom is coming up, and also coming up a little bit later. Remember we told you about this Gaza pier that was being built? Well, the U.S. military did put it into play. May have seen that over the weekend, but most of the aid is being stolen. So we're having American military put their lives on the line in harm's way near Hamas and other idiots in the Middle East, and the aid is not getting through. Let me give you some details on that coming up. You get in at 855-839-1210. First, let me tell you about my friend, my dentist, board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz. Dr. Bentz, over the years, we've talked about every aspect of what he does. Last couple, we've centered in on his infrastructure there. It spares no expense. The latest technology, that 3D printer that works with your teeth to save your time, the convenience, to make sure everything is going to give a great patient outcome in a very timely manner. But one thing he has done right from the beginning that we've told you about periodically, he meets with you just for a routine cleaning, whatever it might be, update, and charts your dental progress and talks to you about what you're doing, how it works for you, what you can do, all the way up to if it's a big multifaceted process. He and his staff sit down and create that clear plan. So if you have questions about something, want to get that initial evaluation, maybe you've been putting off a dental problem. Well, then you want to get that smile that you've always wanted. All that available with the Bentz difference. Just call my buddy, my dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You'll see the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, B-E-N-T-Z, dentalgroup.com, or call them right now, 610-272-6949, 610-272-6949.
We're kicking off the summer of 24 with a shore tradition. This Friday, stop by the Frank S. Farley Plaza on the AC Expressway. Dom Giordano will broadcast live noon till 3. Great fun and giveaways, vintage cars, a petting zoo, and more. Plus, it's Free Toll Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Chickies and Pete's, home of the world-famous crab fries, will pay your eastbound Egg Harbor toll. This Friday, head down the shore with Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine. So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hi, 1210 home sellers. Thinking about selling your home in 2024 or spring of 2025? The real estate market is evolving rapidly. Inventory is rising, prices and interest rates are stabilizing. How does this affect the value of your home? Diane Giordano from the Giordano team here to help you stay informed and make smart decisions. Now's the perfect time to assess your home's value and prepare it for the market, whether you're selling now or next year. With inventory rising, buyers have more choices, so your home really needs to stand out. Take advantage of our 2 free offers. 1, a free room-by-room review that gives you a complete list of low-cost fix-ups that yield high returns. And 2, a seller home inspection before we list your home. This identifies any potential issues before they become deal breakers. Don't leave money on the table. Ensure your home is in top shape and ready to sell. Diane Giordano says, call me now, 215-576-8666 or go to 215-576-8666.com.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
It's what we were taught, trained, and told to do.
It could be for anything. Helping a friend move.
Listening to a fellow veteran for hours, at any hour of the day.
Or just simply making time for people. A neighbor, a loved one, or even a stranger.
We're often the first to help others. There's no question about it.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
Perhaps it's time to do for yourself what you would do for others.
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's Dan time.
I can handle things. I'm smart. Not like everybody says.
With Dom.
That's right. It's that time in the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over the Dom Giordano program for some Dan time with Dom. And Dom, if 2024 was already weird enough, it's getting a little bit weirder. And this comes after a clip that we've been talking about a lot with Pope Francis talking about, what's been going on with immigration. And then you hear the Catholicism response to Harrison Butker. But now in Kentucky, Dom, I'm sure you saw this, but Brother Christian Mattson, a hermit, has come out as a trans individual. This comes with the blessing of a John Stowe of the Diocese of Lexington, his bishop. But Dom, first, I want your reaction. But second, I need you to answer a question, because wouldn't that make him a nun, not a monk?
Yeah, I think it would. Yes, make him a cloistered nun then. Yes, that's where he should end up.
And doesn't that kind of like turn the traditionalism of the Catholic Church completely on end?
Yeah, it does. The bishop should have said, listen, God bless you. You did great service. That's it. You cannot continue this fiction.
He writes, Mattson, you've got to deal with us because God has called us into this church. He also is a doctor in religious studies, says his message to his church on transgender Catholics. It comes 1 month after Vatican issued Infinite Dignity, a 20-page treatise that described gender theory as well as abortion surrogacy as attacks on humanity's connection with God. So it's clear what direction the Catholic Church might be moving here, and it's sad to see, isn't it?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that when a bishop is progressive like this guy is, the Pope and the whole infrastructure doesn't do anything. But if you're slightly conservative outside the status quo, the world comes down on you.
Finally, the bishop says, it's not your church to kick us out of. This is God's church, and God has called us and grafted us into it. So We'll see how it develops, Dom.
Make that man a Cardinal.
If you thought Philadelphia was bad, it's not as bad as Oakland, because Oakland now, they're switching over to starting to use more stop signs instead of traffic lights to deter copper theft. Thieves, we're talking about thieves today, we're often stealing stop lights because of the copper inside of them, so they have to switch to using stop signs now. Not something we've seen in Philadelphia quite yet.
Absolutely. Well, it's a new regime. Under Jim Kenney, a few more years, we definitely would be seeing that.
And finally, a New York University NYU law student, 27 years old, went into rehab costing $10,000, Dom, for an addiction to what do you think? Cheese. She loved cheese so much that there was a family intervention, Dom, because of weight gain, menstrual irregularities, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. This woman and her family spent $5,820 a week, where she learns to manage her diet, count calories, and opt for healthier snacks. Dom, is there any desire for you to go to rehab for pasta?
No, that's impossible. Or fish.
You eat it like twice a day, don't you?
No, I don't eat. No, once. 3 times a week and 4 fish.
I'm really throwing around the Italian stereotypes for you today.
Exactly. My God, manja. Okay.
And finally, Dom, just real quick, Cannes Film Festival still going on and heating up, and Trump now speaking out against the film I brought up yesterday, the show, The Apprentice.
Yeah, you didn't bring up, though, that it's a rape of Ivana. That's the critical thing.
Yep.
To actually have a president of the United States raping his wife and saying, oh, yeah, don't tell me about your...
Yeah, there's that, and there's also a very graphic scene of him getting hair plugs and some other surgeries and such. And yeah, he said it's malicious defamation, and he's threatening legal action against the show, Dom. But that's really taken over Cannes for the news headlines. But kind of underlying something you might want to check out: The Substance. Demi Moore, standing ovation for her performance and Oscar talk for a horror film, which is surprising to hear. But The Substance is a story about a celebrity who's aging and goes through or takes something called the substance that makes her go into complete malformities, deformities, and allegedly a very good film. So look out for The Substance starring Demi Moore. That's all I got for Dan Time with Dom.
Well, thank you for that report today. All right, big 2 o'clock hour. Of course, we have Dom's Money Melody. We don't have the union head. We're hoping to come on tomorrow, because this conversation about going back to work, can you work from home effectively? I just was going to ask him, well, how many people are involved here? Give me some of the jobs. Some of them you can't do effectively from home. There's no doubt about it. Why is this a big stir? Well, because you have people digging in their heels and saying, this is the modern workplace. But also, how much are the rainy day funds of local school districts? Wait till you hear some of the numbers I have. Pennsylvania now spending $22,000 on average. 22 for each child in the public schools. Are we getting 22,000, even in Biden inflationary times? I'd say we're getting about $4,000, and I'm being generous, per student. 22. I'll give you the rainy day fund and your calls. Don't forget the side question.
Can I interrupt before we go to break? I just got an email from an individual by the name of Wolf. Wolf, I've gotten your email. I'm going to send it up the chain. But we would love to have you out there for Dom Day, just saying.
Wolf?
Yeah, a guy that plays in a very awesome tribute band.
What kind of tribute?
The Ultimate Bad Company Experience.
Okay.
So thanks for reaching out, Wolf. We'll see if we can get this going.
There's a tribute band for that?
For Bad Company, yeah.
Wow. I thought it was, I was holding out hope it was a Bruce Springsteen tribute band that Dan was going to have to sign off on. Oh, man, that would have been funny. All right, 855-839-1210.
Sorry, I just want to put the name of the band out there. The Burning Sky Band reached out. Thank you, Wolf. Appreciate that.
Thank you. All right. Dan's an impresario now for Dom Giordano Day. It has many, many tentacles out. Wait till you hear tomorrow the big guests for the day. It will be a lot of fun, to put it mildly, here on Talk Radio 1210.
Don't you know that you are a shooting star? Don't you know?
did your son or daughter do in school this year? Do they need a strong finish academically? The end of the school year is the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2-to-1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your student finish strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies, and we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Losing your family's home movies and photos would be devastating. That's why Legacy Box exists, to preserve your family's recorded moments digitally, ensuring they're safe forever. Think of the time and money your family invested to capture family vacations, birthdays, even your wedding. Recording a lifetime of memories was a commitment. Camcorders cost thousands, and cameras required film and development. Legacy Box is the final step to preserve your family's past. Thankfully, it doesn't require another big investment. Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box to convert their analog media to digital. You owe it to your family to safeguard your memories. Become your family's hero and save them before it's too late. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering an exclusive discount when you go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Now on Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
When I think about you, I think about love.
That is a great song. I did not know that was Bad Company. I love There are several songs, so we might have somebody that will be there at not Bad Company, but a tribute band, Dan, and a listener who particularly has a song we're going to feature, I think, from Bad Company, if you read the email, that's dedicated to Joe Biden.
I love that.
Oh, you want to be there singing that.
So really on the early stages here, but I want to give him credit for reaching out. It's very nice.
yes.
It's theburningskyband.com, and that was Wolf. And we don't know whether or not this is going to happen yet. It's being run up the chain as we speak, but it's just nice enough, and a shout out to these guys for reaching out and offering to do this.
Absolutely. That's where you want to be, June 21st. Just head to the shore. We'll be at Mulligan's. I usually get there around 11:15 till well after 3 o'clock. So it's a great time. Thanks to Mayor Pete, who is the originator of this. Little did he know what he set off around this. But there's a big guest coming this year that we'll tell you about tomorrow. All right, I mentioned this school district stuff because in Pennsylvania, they're going all out. You're seeing this from the Commonwealth Foundation. They're still, of course, against school choice. Commonwealth Foundation saying that right now, the public schools on average across the state are spending $22,000 per student. All right? How does that sound to you as far as the quality of education? But maybe more importantly, I'm looking at a graph of the reserve funds that school districts have, okay? The reserve fund is now up, the rainy day fund for school districts, $6.78 billion, 2023 figures. That is enormous. Now, look, if you're a school district, you need a rainy day fund, you need a backup, we get that. I remember, I haven't looked it up recently, Abington was one of the worst with just a huge rainy day, $6.78 billion in rainy day funds. Now, to Philadelphia's credit, they don't care about rainy day fund. They're probably in the hole. They can't calculate. They don't even know. Are we $100 billion in the hole or $200 billion? What the hell? Let's spend some more. But $6.78 billion. Big thing going on in court right now. We've seen a massive number of Republicans there today, even Joe Piscopo for Donald Trump. And they're haggling over the instructions that will be given to the jury. Marshawn could rule on the Trump defense. They made the motion to dismiss the case. I haven't seen the Vegas odds on this or whatever, Dan, but if Marshawn dismisses this case, we might have to do tomorrow, what is something that you know is a mortal lock? You know, what kind of contest, what kind of event to happen is something that it is almost impossible to believe that it could go the other way. So is there any shot that Marshawn could rule, yeah, dismiss this case? I'd like to be wrong, but I would put this as close to 100% as you can come, even though the elements are there to dismiss the case. This is why, again, this judge, could some other judge dismiss this case before it goes to the jury? Yes, they could. Would it be, under 5%? Yeah, I would say under 5%. Why can't he? His daughter.
Are we doing the sure thing as
yeah, maybe tomorrow. Yeah,
sure thing. Dom Giordano cannot outrun a bear.
All right, that is not, I have to rule against that. That is not a sure thing. I still, maybe if I know that people get riled up, Dan, they start sending angry emails. They get crazy about what makes you think bears are not that fast and all this stuff. I just can't imagine. All the way back to Bill. Bill used to get crazy about a bear chasing me down Ridge Avenue, how quickly it would get you.
I'll do one positive for you.
Yes.
You'll never lose to one of your sons in golf.
Okay, there. Well, that's not
No?
true. No.
Oh, wow.
Luke is really good. Yeah.
Well, you'll never lose to DJ in golf.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's a sure thing.
All right. So we might do short things tomorrow because at some point, right after he gets done lunch or whatever he's doing now, he'll say, no way. I'm expecting Marshawn to come back and say in judicial terms, no way. You got to be kidding me that you think I would dismiss this case. His argument might be, the jury was here. The jury has a right to decide this, etc. This is a dismissible case. That's how bad it's been. I'm not saying that in a partisan way. It's just that legal theory is so cumbersome and Michael Cohen is so bad that it's a ridiculous premise to even continue with this and take it to a jury. So not till next week will we know. I think any reason, this is a test of being reasonable. Any reasonable person has to lean toward this is going to be a hung jury. Not going to be acquittal because some of these people on the jury, they want to make their bones by getting Donald Trump. Certainly not going to be guilty based upon the evidence. That leaves us with a hung jury. How many days would I say that will take for the judge before he gives up? I'd say a week from this Saturday or Sunday, you're going to see hung jury. And then where does that take us politically? Well, that takes us into, they've taken their best shot. Trump is gained by this. Here is Tim Scott, who, Dan, you've been a Tim Scott guy as VP, right? You want to go on record? I mean, we're starting to get pretty close to it.
Yeah.
I haven't been on record of who I think the ultimate VP is going to be. You think it's going to be Tim Scott,
I
right?
do. But the weird thing is, Maisie, during the debates, when we were watching Republican debates, the one person that she kind of gravitated towards, and when we were talking at the dinner table last night, the odds for vice president, the person that she still mostly supports is Doug Burgum.
Ah, man, that dog ain't hunting.
Yeah.
Seeing Doug Burgum in Wildwood, Dan, we were there when he got up and spoke, and he told what he thought was funny. The crowd
he's
wasn't
so
just
boring. And
wasn't just tepid. It was like, oh my God.
What demographic does he win? I don't know.
He's apparently
the Maisie
a nice
demographic.
guy. He's going to bring a lot of money and all that to it. Is Doug Burgum going to go to Bucks County and people are going to go gaga?
I asked Maisie what was appealing about Burgum, and she said he seemed to be more moderate on the stage. But the biggest thing that she liked is she knows North Dakota is a very libertarian, get government out of my life kind of state, and she likes that.
I'm going to play you Tim Scott, though. Tim Scott did pretty good in this clip I'm going to play you. I could see it being Tim Scott in the end. I don't think it's going to be Tulsi. I don't think it's going to be Kristi Noem. I don't think it's going to be any woman that I see out there.
Byron Donalds. Too new?
Yes, it's a little bit too new. That would be a great choice. He is, I like him a lot better than Tim Scott. Tim Scott on his feet is ponderous. He really is. Byron Donalds is not. Byron Donalds gets how to push back against the media. Byron Donalds would take Kamala Harris apart. I don't see Tim Scott doing that. But here's Scott on a good note. Why is it that these polls, remember I told you this, I was telling somebody again today, the biggest thing I'm hanging my hat on, they're real, that Trump in the swing states is doing about 20% among voters of color, African-American, Latino. How do we know that? Because when you look at the figures in the Senate race, like Casey McCormick, Casey is getting the usual support of blacks that a Democrat candidate would get, but Biden is not. And that's the Trump difference. Listen to Tim Scott lay out the reasons. Why is it that Trump is working with black voters?
If you go back and look at a Wall Street Journal poll that was taken in mid-April, that Trump seems to be doing particularly well with black men. Yes. They had 30% of black men voting for Trump in those swing states, which would be, I mean, that's a massive number. And black women, about 11%, which was up 5% from the share he got in 2020. But what is it that seems to be the gender gap here that is more attractive to African-American men?
I think jobs and justice, to be frank. Jobs because at the end of the day, African-American men, just like every other country, wants to support their families. They want to have a high quality living. Under Donald Trump, those numbers were stronger than they are under Joe Biden. The issue of justice is so important to so many black men. We have always wanted a justice system that is fair and equitable. Today, we're watching a two-tier justice system. And interview after interview after interview of African Americans have revealed one important fact. The current court case appears to be a sham in the eyes of those voters who are now turning towards Donald from the Democrat Party. This two-tiered justice system, the weaponization of the justice system against someone, is something that actually we find repulsive as black men. And you'll see more and more people taking a look of the injustice in the justice system and being reminded, if they will do it to the former president of the United States, they just might do it to me too.
That is the takeaway, if true, of what's driving. The jobs are. that kills the other side. In fact, we had this scrum today talking to a couple of people there that were Republicans standing with Trump. And the argument was the reporters were trying to say, well, what do you mean? Trump is a member of the ruling class. He's a president. He's a billionaire. Here's how it sounded. You'll hear Sebastian Gorka and you'll hear Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick with the media out in front of the courthouse.
I don't have that ready. I need about
okay. All right.
10 seconds here.
Okay. And the point was that the Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, said, the ruling class wants Trump. Now, I don't know if that's an imprecise term. It's more the uniparty. It's more the swamp. It's more the people in Washington. They want Trump out because he upsets all their norms that they've set up here. He is a disruptor of that. So, yeah, he's rich. He's a former president. He's famous. But still, he's a large outsider, despite all that. Here's how it sounded.
Because they know here's their biggest danger to taking the ruling class down. No, you know what? Donald Trump is not the ruling class. Donald Trump is for every New Yorker. He's for every Texan, every state. Donald Trump has put his whole life on the line, for the American people. When he came down that escalator, he probably had no idea that he was going to be called to be the man in the gap to stand up for Americans. And he's standing up for you, even if you don't know it. I don't know who's next.
Would a member of the ruling class be facing 730 years in prison? What a pathetic question. 730 years in prison, and he's a member of the elite? That's pathetic. You're not a journalist.
So I want to say, as a former attorney general, is my previous job in.
All right, yeah, there were a number. Even Joe Piscopo, we don't have any Piscopo sound. Might get him on the show tomorrow. Was there. This is becoming the hottest ticket in town. Don Jr. there, et cetera. I'd love to see some, celebrities that have been supportive of Trump come on. By the way, Dan, a real low point last night. I felt bad for Abby Phillip. They booked Cameron, I don't know his rapping, on because of the P. Diddy thing, and he just kept on saying, who put me into this joint? Meaning being on CNN and drinking out of a shot glass. Even for CNN, you know what? It would have been a good TV moment if she said, you know what? Well, that's true. We're not right for you. Go back to whatever, wherever he came from. We don't need this. But mocking, who put me in this joint?
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
He's like shaking too. That's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said. And of course, that's my brother. So if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff. I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is, and y'all make sure y'all check it out. I mean, I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff act and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint y'all invited me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
Oh, my God.
I'm wilding. I was sitting around watching.
I've never had a guest say, well, Dan, I wish I had the sound. John Fetterman, back in the day, he was coming to town. You know how I operate, a little bit undercover here. Yeah. Comes on the show. He was going to be visiting all these bars, etc. And I threw a softball. That's what you have to do. And second or third question in, he goes, what the hell kind of show is this? And it was a legitimate policy question. I really went after him, though. And then after that, it was almost like, Cameron, what kind of joint booked me in here?
Quentin Tarantino, when you picked up on his call, have that reaction?
No. Quentin Tarantino, that's the all-time. He was supposed to be on another show.
Another station.
I just hit the thing. Another station. I just hit the thing, and he was gracious beyond belief. God knows who Quentin Tarantino thought he was talking to. I didn't say my name at that point. I just kept going.
And there's one more moment I can think of, but we've since made good with this guy to a degree.
You're the one that's being obnoxious with this stuff. Now, I ask you a legitimate question.
Thanks a lot, Dom.
Go right ahead and answer. Okay. Yeah, you hung up. I didn't hang up. Okay. Another great moment. All right. We'll get some more calls going here. But right now, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
That is right. And today we are playing for a 4-pack of tickets to see the Reading Phillies versus the Bowie Bay Sox at First Energy Stadium in Reading, Pennsylvania on Fight Cancer Night, Wednesday, June 26th. Phillies legend Charlie Manuel will host a free photo session during the game. He seems to be back and doing well. And these are your future Phillies you get to see here. So, Dan, what's the backstory today?
So, Dom, I can't decide which one I want to do. I'm going to let you play dealer's choice today. Today we're talking about thieves through history, and there have been times in music where a song was released that sounded very similar to a song, and there's been a lawsuit around it. So, Dom, today I have 2 songs that are the originals. I have a South African Zulu song, or I have a Chuck Berry tune that were turned into other songs, and then after some legal proceedings, the copyright returned or some kind of royalties returned to the original song. So do you want Chuck Berry or do you want South African Zulu, Dom?
Chuck Berry, because I think I know the story there, maybe.
All right, here you go. We want to know the name of the song that this became and a lawsuit became of it. How about the artist and the song? It's a very recognizable tune. Here's Chuck Berry's original. We want to know what the rehash of the song was. Take a listen.
Cause they'll be rocking on bandstand in Philadelphia, PA, deep in the heart of Texas, around the Frisco Bay, all over St. Louis, way down in New Orleans.
Pretty easy, right?
All the cats wanna dance with.
Yeah, Chuck Berry is a very underrated artist, entertainer. Still in person, I would rather see James Brown. I like the sweating. I like the whole thing. It's very Springsteen-esque. All right, so hit us with that. Who is Dan? We're looking for the
name
artist.
Of the name of the song. So the music backing here in Chuck Berry. It was later the cut record company essentially put pressure on the artist that used the backing music to get some writing credits for Chuck Berry on the song that this became. So what song did this become? A very, very popular song, Dom.
Okay. 855-839-1210. Do that, and you're up to see Charlie Manuel and the Reading Phillies. 855-839-1210.
Sweet little 16.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
We're only 9 weeks away from the Bend to the Shore bike tour. It's coming back again.
Oh, no.
It's time to start revving it up. We're going to have Team 1210 again. I'm looking forward to it. The guy who trained me last year, the great Dave Madden, sent me a text yesterday. I told him right after Memorial Day, we'll start training again. We'll get about a 4 to 6 week training camp in. The only question is, will the debates go off or will Stocker get on the bike and do the 65 miles?
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Introducing the Honickman Center at Jefferson Health. Outpatient care designed by patients like you. Together, we're shaping the future of medicine, where advanced technology and comprehensive services ensure convenience and accessibility for all patients. Everything you need to simplify the complexity of care is available in one location.
Uncompromising care delivered by world-class physicians. To schedule an appointment, call 1-800-JEFF-NOW.
Splash into savings this Memorial Day with Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Soak in the relaxation and save big on new Hot Spring and Caldera Hot Tubs and save up to $4,000. Plus, when you buy a new Endless Pool Swim Spa, receive a free Aqua Bike and Exercise Kit, a $2,000 value. Looking to upgrade? Your hot tub could be worth up to $4,000. Hurry into Spring Dance Hot Tubs in Jameson, Exton, or in Plymouth Meeting in PA or in Marlton, New Jersey, and upgrade your backyard this summer. Visit us online at springdancehottubs.com for more details. Don't miss out on these incredible savings.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Hey, Cherry Hill. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker, play 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
Okay, let's hear the clue today.
Cause they'll be rocking on bandstand in Philadelphia, PA, deep in the heart of Texas, around the Frisco Bay.
All right, let's see what Kelly can do. Lincoln University. Don't think I've ever gotten a call from Lincoln. Hey, Kelly, good afternoon. What's your answer?
Hi, good afternoon. I think it's Surfing USA by the Beach Boys.
All right, very nicely done, Kelly. Enjoy Charlie Manuel and the Reading Phillies. We'll put you on hold. So, yeah, Dan, that's almost outright piracy.
Yeah, so when the single was released in 1963, the record only listed Brian Wilson as a composer, although it was initially published by Arc Music, the publisher of Chuck Berry's music. With pressure from the, record company, they ended up giving the copyright to Arc Music for this song because of it, just to kind of avoid any kind of legal situation. Mm-hmm. And Chuck Berry was given writing credits to future releases for this song. So, Chuck Berry had what was called Sweet Little 16th there that was later turned into Surfing USA by the Beach Boys.
Now, the two that I think of when I think of these battles over copyright, who did what, are Michael Jackson and Meatloaf.
Yeah.
And Meatloaf, I think, was the more serious back and forth over it.
Yeah, Meatloaf had I Do Anything for You, and I Do Anything for Love was the big one, right?
Yes.
And then, but the one I wanted to go with is it actually spurned a documentary, too. It's a Zulu chant. It was from 1939, Dom, and we were going to ask the same question, what's the name of the song that this was turned into, but take a listen to the South African. You recognize it?
No, I don't.
It's The Lion Sleeps Tonight. That's what we were going to do by the Tokens and later used for The Lion King.
All right. Little update on what's happening with the trial. The judge is back on the bench, and he's going through the filings he received from the defense and prosecution regarding jury instructions. And you can say, look, these jurors are going to do what they're going to do, but the jury instructions have some weight as far as, if we get into this battle over a hung jury and you have one or two people holding out against the others, the jury instructions they will be citing saying, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. So they are critical. I think the judge is going to rule today on dismissing this and not getting to the jury. And it's a mortal lock. Wherever you are, I will give you a warning if I see Dan tell me in the next half hour, say, Judge Marchand says, never mind, I'm dismissing this case because you might drive off the road. There is no way. Could some judge dismiss this case? Yes. Any number of them could. Probably the minority would choose to do that because of all that's gone into it. But maybe 5 to 10% of the judges could. All right. Dan tells me we have this creepy.
I love this.
I've heard this. I saw it online. I didn't hear it yet. A creepy Biden clip going viral. When you say something like that, I have to bite. We have to go for it. He's speaking today about what?
I don't even know where this came from. It's just
okay.
Yeah, it's randomly dropping. I just want to put it out there. Maisie has 3 sisters, so I don't know if this is a message for me.
Okay.
I say to every young man thinking of getting married, marrying a family of 5 or more daughters. I did. My wife's the oldest of 5 sisters. You know why? One of them will always love you. Not the same one. One of them will always be on your side. That's the biggest advantage of marrying.
What the heck? My God, can you imagine being the handler for this man? Just imagine being the handler for this guy.
Yeah, marry into a family with a lot of daughters.
He just says stuff that are nonsensical, and he keeps on acting every day as if he's giving you such 10 Commandments advice coming down from the mountaintop. His whole career he's done this. Hey, and he's become president, so he thinks, what the hell? People love it. That's just Joe being Joe. When does that get tiresome? Well, it is already. So what do they have to fall back on? Well, if Trump is convicted. If he's not, what do they have? Nothing. All right, let's go to Joe of Exton. Dan, this is a really outside the box. Might be a good answer, though. Michael Cohen yesterday stole $30,000, he told us, from President Trump. What is the all-time thief or robber we're looking for with Joe in Exton? Joe, good afternoon.
Yes, hello, Dom, and good Tuesday afternoon.
Same to you, Joe.
My criminal is the good thief who was crucified on Mount Golgotha to the right of Christ and who asked Christ for forgiveness for his life of petty crime.
Yeah, that is an outstanding one. We never heard what happened to the bad thief, but we probably can guess. Thank you, Joe. Joe said his piece, Dan. I can tell when he's done, he's not adding any more to it. That's the script. Cut. That's it. It's a wrap, everybody. All right, the good thief, Dan. That's a pretty good one.
Now, my question is, we usually keep biblical answers off the table, but this one's so far outside the box. I think it should be considered, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly, but it is a thief. It's a prominent. That's one of the most prominent thieves in history. The bad thief, though. No, I'm not giving in. Nope. Not going to do it. What do I have to lose? Well, maybe a lot. Oh, God. 855-839-1210. So more coming up here. Joe Biden, married with 5 sisters. Danny, he just goes through every day saying, yeah, the deer wearing Kevlar. The same tired stuff endlessly. Beau Biden. Did I tell you about Beau? All right, my prediction is Marshawn, before the end of the show, is going to say, no, you got to be kidding me. We're going to go to the jury. I'm not dismissing this case. We'll see, though. 855-839-1210, you get on board. It's so important to make sure that our families have the essentials: food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did. Count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all-natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Their customer service, attention to detail are fantastic. They really respect your home, and they love showing you the impurities coming out of that water with the process and what it's going to be for you. It is incredible. Contact Martin Water Conditioning today. They'll take great care of you. Go to martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. Tell them Dom G sent you. Martin Water Conditioning, 800-887-7555.
Partly cloudy and 60 overnight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 87. Thursday, high of 86, but we'll probably get some thunderstorms in the afternoon. And on Friday, partly cloudy, 86. Saturday, we'll probably see some rain again going into Memorial Day weekend.
Weather sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become a valued part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
See Joe Conklin in the City Rhythm Orchestra in a tribute to Philly sports fans on the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano, all-time thief. Robber. By the way, the point of emphasis now as they're going through the jury instructions, Colangelo, who is the prosecution attorney sent over by the Biden Justice Department, agrees that for a violation to be criminal, it must be willful on the part of Trump. Might seem like small points here, but look, these jurors, when they get into the nitty-gritty, and there are 2 or 3 of them holding out here saying, no, we're not going to convict. I've never been allowed on a jury. Dan, you've never served on a jury, have you? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I've been rejected. You know how Trump says Alphonse Capone was only indicted 2 times. I've been indicted 32.
It's like my middle school experience all over again, just rejections left and right.
I loved it, though. I was rejected by the defense attorney, the prosecutor, and the judge, all in one case for various reasons. And I was being honest. It was at Christmas time. Nobody
wanted you.
I could have served. Well, they all saw the obvious types of things in here. And that's where the judge threatened contempt over my answer to question 8. So that was a good day. But if it's only one person that's not biased or Trump and holds out and says, no, the elements of the crime are not there, that's going to be tough for that person. You know what will happen? They'll say, how about a compromise? What you should be looking for today, okay? The defense requested willfully be added twice. You see where this is going? You could say, look, these jurors not going to pay attention. Maybe on the surface they won't, but when they get into the room, the other thing, Dan, I got to write this for tomorrow too, that they'll be looking at, it's not just that type of instruction, but they're going to be looking toward the elements of the crime here, and they're going to try to bring that up. And the violation of this federal law is going to be very difficult. But if there are 2 or 3 of them, I would predict the hung jury is going to stick. If it's only one person that holds out, they could say to them, all right, watch for this. Will the Trump people, Danny, you tell me if you see it on the screen. This is as key as I can tell you here. I think it's a big mistake for Trump to include misdemeanor charges in there, for the Trump people to do that versus just the felony. I think Trump's got to roll the dice here, because the worst thing coming out of this would be they find him guilty on the misdemeanor phase of it, which is still criminal. We had John Yoo on yesterday, but it's not as high as a felony, because then politically, you know what's going to happen. They're going to say Trump is a convicted, he's a criminal based on this. If that's not in there, then Trump is rolling the dice, because if he is convicted, that would mean a lot of jail time.
Well, it also gives him the ability to say, I beat him. You know, if he still gets a misdemeanor charge, then there's the question of, well, did you really win
Exactly. Now, you know, some people, Dan, will say, oh, the media is going to spin it. Yeah, I know they're going to try to spin it. But if it's a hung jury, there's nothing to spin. You were not convicted of anything. I'm watching to see the report today. What is it? Do the Trump people argue, leave 32 misdemeanors in, or 34, or not? That's critical. I predict Trump is going to roll the dice here. I mean, he's putting everything on the line here, and he wants to win the presidency, and I don't think he wants to take any chances. All right, the Earl of Tacony is here. So, Earl, I hear you can do a Tom Jones impression.
Pretty much the same crappy Tom Jones impression that anybody else ever does. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
I don't know, Dan.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, give him like a large open collar with the big collar and
yeah.
The
We need
jacket.
some.
Tan.
How much chest hair do you have going on there, Earl? We need some chest hair.
I'm not a very hairy guy.
We might get you, some kind of
matting, some kind of like yeah. All right, we'll keep you in mind as the Tom Jones impersonator. The ones we're looking at, Earl, want to be paid in shillings and all, so we kind of think they might not get to mulligans too easily.
I'll get paid in fish and chips.
Okay. All right, Earl, who's your thief today?
I have 2. One is me, because I'm going to steal from Joe of Exton, and it's going to be basically, hello, Dom. My thief is the thieving magpie from the 1815 Rossini opera of the same name. It's the story of a maid who is sent to the gallows for stealing silver from her employers. In the end, she is saved from certain death when it's revealed that the silver was stolen by a magpie who hid the silver in a church tower.
Very nice, Earl. Very nice. Dan, we had an attorney named Donald. Said I was so right on this case. Please call back.
Donald, where'd you go?
Hey, Dan, throughout this whole procedure, how many attorneys have scoffed at me?
Right. D-O-M.
And how many have given me the J Town guy has been mixed, scoffing one day, on board the next. John Yoo has been completely on board, wants to hire me as a rainmaker. Andy McCarthy, we're just friends. We never get to that. Greg Jarrett hasn't been on. Who else do we have? Alan Dershowitz. I think he sort of remembers me, but I'm not sure. You know, he gets a little fuzzy there.
I'd call the guy back, but I'm worried he'd charge me for the time.
Oh, okay. So, Donald, call us back in. I wanted to hear what you had to say.
You initiate the call, Donald. You know how it works with lawyers.
Yes, exactly. So, saying that this misdemeanor thing, Dan, you let me know. I'm serious as soon as we see it. Do the Trump people push to say, put the lesser crimes, it's called LI something in there? That would be hedging his bets. I wouldn't do that because I think on appeal he's going to win anyhow. He's not going to go to jail on this. But you put that in there and you let these jurors under the gun think about it. Here's Donald. Donald in Bucks on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Donald, thanks for calling back. What do you think?
Hey, Dom, I'm sorry. I got bad service, but I think the show's great, and I think you're right. I'll just quickly say, before I lose service again, is that you hit it right on the head. So as a criminal defense attorney, there's really only two types of intent. There's general intent and specific intent. Specific intent is way harder to prove. They need to show that Trump did it knowing and intentionally. So by trying to add willfully as much as you can is really increasing the burden. Yeah. Otherwise, they would just have to prove recklessness or negligence, which is way easier to prove.
Donald, what would you be advising? You're a talk radio listener. My advice is that you got to roll the dice here. You put those lesser misdemeanors in along with the 34 felonies. What's going to happen is if it's only a couple jurors and under a lot of pressure, I'm afraid they would compromise and say, all right, we'll go with the misdemeanor.
I agree. Generally, I'd say most criminal defense attorneys would say that always trying to get the misdemeanor read is generally the good rule of thumb. But here, where you already have 34 charges, you're kind of just adding more opportunities, as you alluded to. And you also have the statute of limitation issues that you have outstanding. And really, that can't just be addressed sua sponte by the judge. I mean, I'm sure Trump's lawyers have something planned, but they would need to raise that issue to try to get dismissed so the jury can't even consider the charges. Which,
yeah. I mean,
I'm not knees deep into this enough to know.
I hear you, but here's the unusual part of this case. Yes, the usual thing, I realize why you'd put the misdemeanor in. You're trying to limit the amount of jail time, et cetera, here. But if Trump gets a conviction, I'm convinced minimally, and that's enough in states like Pennsylvania, some people are going to say, I can't vote for a guy who's a criminal. I know it's ludicrous, even though they think the case is ludicrous. I'm afraid of that.
I agree with you, and I think it's ludicrous. I think it's so clear that this man is being persecuted. The timing of all these indictments is facially absurd, that it's so obvious that there was a conspiracy to get him, and the time is important. Time is of the essence. All of these indictments seemingly could have been brought many months ago.
Exactly. Yeah, many months ago.
I don't think we need to do much to prove a conspiracy. It's so incredibly obvious that this is political.
Exactly.
And I'm a registered Democrat, for the record. I mean, I love your show. I think you hit it right on the head. I think, your show is very fair and very intelligent.
Thank you, Donald, very much. The check will be in the mail, the retainer. Thank you, Donald.
That one right there.
Now, the point is here, Dan, I am not going to be a hack and dismiss it. If Trump is convicted of something here that the term criminal, the media can run with it, our fair weather friends out in Bucks, Delaware, Chester, and Montgomery County that are on the fence about this, looking for an excuse, they know Biden can't go another 4 years. They know Kamala Harris is even more incompetent. Can they really grab onto that and say, I just couldn't vote for a guy who's a criminal? How could I look myself in the mirror? I don't want to roll the dice on that. I think if Trump just goes with the felony counts, he's not going to be convicted of those. No way on any of them. All right, the lightning round is next. 855-839-1210.
Countless financial firms have promised the security and peace of mind that comes only with a crash-proof retirement. But those imitators never last. Only crash-proof retirement can guarantee market-like returns credited as interest with no market risk or fees in a legally binding recorded financial meeting.
Janice Barbero, Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. With Crash Proof, we don't have to worry about making up any money that we've lost. So if the market goes down, we don't worry. And that interest that we made the year before, that never goes away. I do think Crash Proof Retirement's original. They're the real deal. I don't think anybody else could give that kind of service.
Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the country willing to make all promises and guarantees legally binding by recording all financial meetings. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash Proof Retirement educational event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, June 11th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. I'm joined here today by my friend, the co-president and CEO of Cooper University Healthcare, the one and only Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli. Dr. Maz and I are here to tell you about our buddy, Dr. Mike Veneria. Not only is he my dentist, he's my family's dentist as well. And not sure if you knew this, he's Dr. Maz's dentist too.
That's right, Rich. Dr. Mike Veneria is and has been my dentist also. And you know, doctors choosing doctors, that can be quite a selective process. And not only do I go to him, but for years, my sister and my niece and my nephew, the whole family goes.
Well, it's no secret. We're all delighted by the care that Dr. Mike Veneria and his award-winning team provide, and you need to check him out.
Whether you're looking for pediatric, general, cosmetic, implant dentistry, you don't need to look any further. Dr. Veneria's office does everything. Dr. Veneria's office also exceeds all CDC guidelines and has always maintained the strictest infection control, like their centralized UV sterilization of airflow, which is incredibly important to me.
Locations are right over the bridge in Cinnaminson and Woodbury. Your perfect smile's waiting. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Free speech lives here, on the air, and on the Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Hey, don't miss out on the memorial sale at Rescue Natural Supplements going on right now with prices rising across the country. Rescue is rolling back pricing to the year 2010. Plus, enjoy their fantastic 2 bottles, get 1 free, and buy 3 bottles and get 2 free memorial deals. Stock up on your favorites, save big with Rescue rollback pricing and generous free bottle offers. Whether you're in need of 1250 omega-3s, cholesterol supporters, probiotics, or natural pain relief, everything is on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss this opportunity for huge savings on over 50 Rescue products to tackle your health goals. Remember, 2010 rollback prices, and the memorial deals are going on now through May 30th. So go shop res-q.com, res-q.com.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Oh, we have some added time today for the lightning round. We got some good ones. All-time thief or robber. Let's go to Matt in Downingtown. All right, Matt, who are yours?
All right, so I can't go a Christmas season without seeing these two. They originally started out as the Wet Bandits, but then later went to the Sticky Bandits, and that's Harry and Marv from the Home Alone series.
That is a great pair, yes. John in Cheltenham. All right, John, who's yours?
I have Frank Abagnale.
Was he a thief, though, or was he...
Yeah. He was. By the age of 18, he had already impersonated a doctor, a lawyer, and an airline pilot on Pan Am Airlines before he was 18, and then became one of the biggest U.S. Counterfeiters in history. Robbed more banks of cash flow from phony checks, and then went to work for the U.S. Treasury Department after he got arrested by an FBI agent who was on his tail constantly, and served the rest of his life going after other counterfeiters.
Good stuff. Catch me if you can. Don in Franconia. Don, who's yours?
Yes, thanks for taking my call, Dom. Mine is a gentleman 53 years ago, took off in an airplane, hijacked the airplane when it flew back to Seattle, demanded $200,000 in $20 bills. He said he claimed his name was D.B. Cooper, and then he parachuted out of the plane, and they still to this day have not found him.
Excellent. Jeff in Hatboro is really outside the box. Who's yours, Jeff?
Well, in honor of Riley Gaines today, I had to go with this. So any trans male athlete who's stealing the hopes and dreams, possibly scholarships, Olympic hopefuls, anything like that from young women these days.
Thank you, Jeff. In Oregon, Dan, this trans athlete beat the female, high school level, I believe, and the crowd unmercifully booed.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of rare. They just, they're mad, but they don't go crazy. Now we're starting to see people boo.
Yeah, it's stealing opportunities.
Let's go to Bruce in the Northeast. Here's Crook
Bruce,
that I interviewed. Bruce, who's yours? Oops.
He's still there.
Wait,
Still there?
Yes. Yeah, Bruce, who's yours?
Hey, Doc, can I make a suggestion for the Frank Rizzo statue?
Sure.
This is outside the box now, but it would be in South Philly. It would be a safe spot. It would be installed on top of the greased pole on Passyunk Avenue, and he could look out across South Philly, and maybe they could have like a contest where you shimmy up and shake his hand.
You're going to have a hell of a story on that one.
You know what? That's a good suggestion. Well, I'd love to be on that committee because I can bring them a lot of good suggestions. Going to happen.
Yeah.
I would say by the new year, you're going to see Frank Rizzo in South Philly. Who's the crook?
Yeah, most likely.
Who's the crook, Bruce?
Yeah, that's Henry Hill, a Goodfellas real-life crook, Henry Hill.
Exactly.
Get it
right.
all. Don't miss any of it.
Dennis in Salem County on Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Dennis. Who's yours?
Hey, Dom. Hey, Dan. Local connection hopefully pushes me over the edge. I taught martial arts to the most prolific bank robber in U.S. history, more than Sutton, more than Dellinger. His name is Carl Gugassian, also known as the Friday Night Bank Robber. He lived in Plymouth Meeting.
You taught the guy martial arts, too?
Why was he called the Friday Night?
I did for 10 years.
Yeah. Why was he the Friday Night? Is that when he struck on Friday nights? Or?
Yeah, he had a really elaborate MO where he would do Friday nights. He would camp out, figure out who closes, who opens, and the bank was always next to the woods. And he'd take his dirt bike after he robbed the bank and go through the woods, throw it in his minivan, and head home.
All right. That is wow. Really, at the end, people came alive. Dan, give me some of the contenders.
I like that Friday Night Bank robber, but there are some huge names that were said today. Charles Ponzi from Charlie in Northern PA. The Wet Bandits from Home Alone is a great fictional answer. Frank Abagnale from John Cheltenham, and D.B. Cooper from Don and Franconia. And one more out of the box, Jeff and Hatboro, any trans male athlete.
What's your version?
When I initially thought of this question, it was either Ponzi or DB Cooper, but that anti-trans male athlete did sway me a little bit.
I want to go in Jeff and Hatboro, although I like the good thief today, too. Joe going biblical. Let's go with Jeff and Hatboro.
All right, Jeff goes into the hat.
All right, tomorrow we found a time. We're going to find a Tom Jones impersonator and a band, and we'll get the jury instructions. We'll give you full detail on that. Rich is next. 4 big hours, Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Indulge in an extraordinary dining experience at Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse. For intimate dinner parties to corporate events, the chef-driven cuisine, impeccable wines, and exceptional hospitality give you an experience like no other. Call 215-246-0533.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Store